So I don't like to bring up old stuff on this show. Okay,
Great.
but I realized, you three went to Vegas. That's what we're gonna talk about. The crazy stories. That's fine. I've been cooking on my own kind of funny podcast topic for a while before I realized you were gonna hijack the entire show.
Oh, sorry.
So I want to dial you back, Andy Cortez, to 1990-ish.
Okay.
Okay. Mike Boylan's mom takes us to McDonald's.
Boyo.
Okay.
Boyo, we call
Big
them.
Mike's mom.
Called her that too.
I get a bunch of napkins. I don't remember how many napkins, but a bunch. Okay, I'm trying to take care of the whole fucking table. And I come back and I sit down with them, and Mrs. Boylan goes, in Ireland, you wouldn't be able to get that many napkins. Because she had just come back from a visit to Ireland. And this did not sit well with me.
Oh,
right?
God.
Now, I was 7 years old, whatever, I'm a first grader.
Are you
know what I mean?
unhappy with Ireland or happy with her giving you this?
It's mainly the way she gave me the information.
No.
You know what I mean? I want Amy, if you're out there, Amy Gills, we this isn't an attack on Ireland.
Yeah.
But it was for a little boy. You know what I mean? Not a way to ingratiate me to Ireland. You know what I mean? More like, well, that place sucks then. You know what I mean?
That's the problem.
I'm seeing, oh man, I don't know. I'm a kid. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like I was taking the napkins to take them. I wasn't doing what my fucking son does, rub your face and throw them back at me. You know what I mean? He's going through a million napkins a
That's
day.
the play.
That wasn't the thing I was doing. I was trying to take care of the table.
I get it.
Mrs. Boylan earned my ire that day. And I've sat on it this long, but it's time to let it go.
Let it out.
So I need to let it out into the ether so I can be. She was a lovely woman, don't get me wrong. Probably is a lovely woman. I have no idea what happened to her.
That stuff will eat away at you.
It will.
Yeah.
And I've sat now every time I've gotten napkins.
Festering inside.
Every time I've gotten napkins, I've had to think, well, I couldn't get this many in Ireland. And that's the other thing too now.
Sticks with you.
I don't know. I'm Greg Miller, they call me the melting pot.
Uh-huh.
I'm a million ethnicities. But Irish is the big one. You know what I mean? Irish is the big one there.
I wouldn't have guessed.
You know Jamie Kennedy? Oh, you've seen me drink. You know what I'm doing over here. You know how it is. So again, it's not an affront to Ireland. But every time I take too many napkins, I'm like, man, in Ireland, they don't have this ability. You know what I mean?
Like
Roger. We were at the Sphere.
I look forward to telling you about our napkin story.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell her right now.
Well, would you believe that I have my own napkin story from this weekend as well?
Oh, good.
Where I tried to take
Change the headline, Barrett.
I took 2 napkins from the Taco Bell cantina thing, and the entire thing fell over and exploded napkins all over the floor.
The napkin episode.
You walk away from that, right?
No, it was me at 10:30 at night in Taco Bell. So it's like it was me, this group of high school girls over here, and this group of
them.
people. No, everyone stopped and looked at me, and I did the Greg thing where I just looked at everyone and I went, "I only took 2," and it was all, you know what I mean?
I did the Greg thing.
Well, I mean, a lot of people they would.
He often says that.
They would
I only take 2.
Well, this is in some.
He said the thing.
I only took 2.
In some ways, this is a redemption. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because back in 1990, Mrs. Boylan caught me off guard.
Oh,
I
boyo.
wasn't prepared for that. You know what I mean? I couldn't do that in Ireland. I had no.
You should have told them
I had
that.
no catchy comeback. You know
You
what I
should
mean?
have told the people at Taco Bell, like, this wouldn't happen in Ireland.
Yeah, I guess that's possible.
You could go to Hot Topic right now, get a T-shirt of Greg like that, saying, "I only took 2." Catchphrase for the ages.
We're at the Sphere, and we're getting our first meal of the day. All right, timing was tight, so we buy our little stuff, which just means you get some pizza, you get some like dogs, you get some hand foods. You know what I mean? So of course we're gonna need some.
I have so many questions. Do you want them now, or do you want them when you get here?
We'll get there. Let me just tell the napkin part real quick, because I walk off and I come back and there's just napkins all over the table. It was covered in what was probably 20 napkins. And I was just like, that's crazy. And I get it because I'm
Ireland,
a napkin boy.
They would have locked you up immediately.
I like to be clean. I like to make sure that I'm using the napkins and stuff. I don't want to go as far as saying I'm wasteful, but I'm definitely not wasteful. You know what I mean? And
Planet's
so
got bigger problems than
I'll grab some napkins, put them in my pocket anytime I have the opportunity. If I see a napkin, I'm gonna take a napkin. Okay. And Roger kind of was explaining that to us, but there was something about it. And Roger, I would describe as a very, very, very organized person. I feel like he has his life in order. I feel like he's always clean. I feel like he always it makes sense. The way that he strew the napkins about the table, it felt very un-Roger like. It caught me off guard.
He walked up and just
I feel like I learned something about Roger that day. I just learned that he, like me, takes napkins and puts them in his pocket. But the way he presented it to us, like, am I alone in this, Andy?
No, it wasn't weird at all. It was odd. Yeah, he was just like, every time I go somewhere, Leonza gets mad at me because I put napkins in my pockets. And then what happens is I have a bunch of jackets in the coat rack with a lot of napkins just falling out of them. We have a native Irelandite.
Irish person.
Oh, sure. Named
Ireland.
Shifra's in the chat right now.
Okay.
She says we have at least 12 napkins.
Well, I think Jenny says Ireland has 8 napkins collectively. Big problem. And then Jenny, we have at least 12.
Yeah. Shifra's, that's how you pronounce it. I learned that.
Shifras?
Shifra. Yeah.
Shifra.
So that same thing, Mike, you remember that name? It's in Elden Ring. And it's like the Siofra River. That's what we always called it. But it's Shifra. That's how you pronounce it.
Elden Ring.
Elden
Shadow of the Earth Tree might be game
You
of the
learning
year.
shit, man. It's an educational game. Make a new
Is it a
category.
DLC
Jeff
game
Game of the
Keighley.
year. You
Who
never
knows,
know.
Mike?
Could be game of the year.
It's one of those, again, this isn't Greg in 1990 anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get caught off guard and punched in the face by Mrs. Boylan. Here, all right? What I'm going to tell you is we're in the circle of trust. We're all best friends.
Yeah, yeah.
Just Shifra, a little bit of advice, put an H in there. There's no H in your name. How would I know to say Shifra?
You don't
know
have
what
to
I mean?
listen
Am
to
I
it.
wrong? Now, I don't know.
let
The eyes got the little crooked cap on it.
Shit.
So the eyes in a dot nose.
That's what they do when they welcome you into their country.
Lady, I don't know how to pronounce the I.
God.
Welcome to Ireland. Tip of the cap.
I'm such a
Chief Russell
dumb
says, I
idiot.
missed like a minute. Why are we being bashed over napkins? Oh,
Now, Shiva says you're aware it's another language. Yes, I'm just saying to make it easier on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This
Dumb
isn't
American.
anything about dumb American.
No.
Did I Google where Norway was today? Because I've been
Gotta Google
duped.
it.
I've been duped. Remember when I thought New Zealand was up there? I was like, I gotta
You're
make
right.
sure. I gotta make sure Norway's exactly where I think it is. All right. I don't need to watch another goddamn Monopoly documentary and find out that I'm wrong about this one. Ladies and gentlemen and
Zealand's
NBs, welcome to another episode of the Kind of Funny podcast. I'm Greg. That's Andy. That's Mike. That's Tim. And like we said, we have some Vegas stories. They do. I don't. I went to independent wrestling, but you guys
We
went to
have
Vegas.
some stories, yeah.
Yeah.
Mike
Yes,
shows up 3/4 through.
Did you really?
Showed up an hour late, yeah.
I love it.
But I made it.
Hell yeah.
The best was when Kevin Ace walked in. And
Yeah.
I stood up and challenged him. He was like, "Oh my god, you're here!" I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Is Mike coming?" He's like, "I don't know. I didn't even bother asking. Is he in Vegas?" I'm like, "I don't know." He talked like he might. Okay. And then the key just looks at me and goes, "Are you here alone?" I go, "Yeah." All right. See you later. I sat back down and started talking to my new friends in my
I
row.
show up, I'm like, Kevin, Greg's up there. Did you hang with him? Oh, no. And I was like, there's a seat right next to him. No. I'm like, all right.
I have
that's
my
cool.
new friends Paul and Mike. We'll talk
Shout
about
out
them
to
later.
Paul and Mike.
If we get there, it's all
we
about
had a
the
great time.
Yeah,
Today's all about
because we're in Vegas for Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. They sponsored us going out there. They're sponsoring the show. But it all started because
But they're not sponsoring this topic of Vegas
No,
stories.
no. This is just.
Okay. I just want to make sure we're very clear.
Just making it clear about like what the opportunity was. Is there? This was the launch event for Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf, which is a just kind of like not layer, but like a filter type thing experience of you just play Topgolf like normal, but it adds a bunch of Sonic effects and things. So this being the launch event for that, they just kind of wanted Kind of Funny there. But the reason they wanted Kind of Funny there is because one of the developers of the Sonic side, the game side of this Topgolf thing, Scott, is a hardcore Kind of Funny best friend. So he got all the things connected, which was very, very nice of him. And we got to spend an amazing weekend with him. Shout out to Scott, the homie for sure.
Killed it.
But we had fun. We were there for about 26 hours total, which is a great amount of time to be in Vegas.
We're going to talk about the Sphere a lot, too. We're not sponsored by them either.
But if you want to,
Exactly.
Yeah.
Let us know. But we get home and G's going out with one of her friends and immediately was just like, "Oh, like Tim, like you have to come to this thing." I'm like, "All right, cool." And I start getting texts in like the group thread that are just like, "Oh, I can't wait to get all the raunchy stories from Tim in Vegas." And I had to be like, I need y'all to understand. It was me, Roger Picorni, Snowbike Mike, and Andy Cortez. Like, we have stories. They're not what you expect from Vegas. You know what I mean? We're playing Sonic the Hedgehog Topgolf. All right?
good time,
Living
man.
on the edge.
It got so nasty that Roger walked out with 7 Sonic the Hedgehog plushies. That's how wild we got it.
Stuffing them, hiding them away, Mike.
And I'm sorry,
legitimately.
ladies, this man's taken. All right. Before we get to all the stories, I'll remind you this is Kind of Funny podcast each and every week. 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather on this table, each coming to talk about whatever it is going on in their lives. If you want to talk to us about it, why not be here live? Of course, if you are a Kind of Funny member, you give us $10. You get all of your shows ad-free. You get the ability to watch the Kind of Funny podcast live as we record in the afternoon. And of course, you get a daily dose of me in a series, podcast, video we call Greg Way. No bucks tossed away, no big deal. YouTube.com/kindoffunnygames. Podcast services around the globe each and every week. Usually Tuesday. You get the ads. You can't be part of the chat like Cameron Kennedy is, Mike L is, Langley M. Neely is, who finally stopped haunting some children's dreams. You know what I mean?
It's November.
Last night, Ben wouldn't go to sleep, and he was just like, Daddy, I'm worried about monsters. And I said, don't worry, Langley's not here. You know what I mean?
He's not real.
We're not
you,
streaming
Langley.
this.
We
He
love
can't
you so
haunt
much.
With his
Thank you, Langley.
spindly fingers. You know what I mean? It's coming around the door.
It sound like the Ferris Bueller song.
Oh, it's going to be a show today, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, like I was telling you, do all that different stuff, yada, yada, yada. Thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs, Drummer Boy, James Hastings, Casey Andrew, and Nathan Lamoth. Today we're brought to you by Sonic at Topgolf, Aura Frames, and the Visual Triangle merch. But for now, we'll start with topic of the show. Tots. Tim,
Yes.
take me away.
We went to Vegas. We get to the airport. It's Friday. We're feeling good. I went alone just because it was easier to get from my house to the airport. The boys, Andy, Mike, Roger, they all went together. I walk in. I'm trying to figure out, coordinate where they actually are, trying to find people just texting, get a little group thread going, And
Already.
things just didn't go the way I expected them to. But at some point, I walk and I just see Andy walking towards me. And I'm like, that's weird. It's weird to just see Andy and not the rest of them, but I'm sure it's fine. Roger and Mike, they have their own little adventures. We look over and we see them kind of walk into the store. And we're like, all right, Mike's about to waste way too much money.
Fuck yeah.
Just
This is
buying
at
stuff.
SFO stuff.
At
SFO stuff?
SFO. Yeah. And Andy, do you want to take it
Yeah,
away
Roger
from
took
there?
that one personal from you.
We
Remember
stood-
that?
Yeah, Roger didn't
He
like
took that one personal.
I went through TSA. I had the pre-check, right?
So we all have pre-check except for Mike.
Yeah,
Except for
you
Mike.
and Roger both went through pre-check together as a unit.
So here's my thing, Greg.
So yeah, tell him.
Could I have waited for Roger? Yeah. Should I have waited for Roger? I'm gonna say no.
Wait, so you're side by side. You
No,
go
we
into
weren't side by
pre-check.
side. I was like 2 people in front of him
Okay.
because I had clear.
Yeah.
Went through pre-check and I waited there for a bit and I was like, Roger's still about to go through. But here's my thing. I'm like, is Roger gonna make me wait for Mike? And that's where it all breaks down. And I say, what's all of this for?
Why'd
Greg?
I say? Why'd I spend the money if I'm not saving the time?
What's all this capitalism for if I'm
Yeah.
not taking advantage of it?
There's
So I
a
walked
reason
ahead.
we've let the airport be divided into stratas. Of
course.
So we
Yeah.
can feel better about our placement above
Of
other
course.
people.
When
So,
I
yeah.
walk by Mike,
This
I
guy-
spit at him.
This guy, he's fucking at a NASCAR race in the center with the beer helmet on. You're
having a
going to
great
the
time.
Met Gala. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Roger's in the chat right now to check this right now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
do we want to know how much money Mike spent on things at the airport?
Oh, I'm very excited about
we'll
that.
get to that. That's right.
Very excited about that too.
Yeah, mind you, it's Friday afternoon, so regular check is only 5 minutes long. So it's not like I was far behind.
It doesn't matter.
But Roger, like a lost puppy, looks at me. I start waving like the dad that I am, like, hey, I'm here. And he goes, Mir's fucked up. And he just walked away from me, so I didn't know what to do. And I was like, you're here with me now. Get ready.
Roger's gonna
I'm-
make me wait for Mike. That's
But I am Team Roger on this one. Through it, Andy,
I had to
that's
go.
unhinged behavior.
I
To
had
not
to
just
go.
wait the second for him
I had
to
to
get there.
go.
But I get where your head's at.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
I don't blame you. If it was someone else, I'd blame them. But for some reason, it being Andy, I'm like, let
Thank
Andy
you.
just do his thing.
That's part of the
No.
character.
Yeah,
know what
you
I
let
mean?
I'm
Andy
looking
do
for
his thing.
Tim. I'm trying
Yeah.
to get my snacks. I gotta get my thing going.
Just walked away from him.
But
I
Roger
think
was not wrong here.
Reversed roles, I would have waited for Roger to get there and been like, all right, let's go. Or are you waiting? There would have been give him the 2 minutes.
Well,
the
Roger
minute.
was going to leave me.
Okay.
Roger literally looked at me. He's like, well, if Andy waited for me, we would have left you.
Sure.
But then he left me, so I didn't know what to do. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I would have done that before I would have just walked off. But I appreciate it nonetheless.
I just assumed
I
that
like-
Roger would have felt bad for Mike. and
There's
waited for
nothing
Mike.
more that I appreciate
Yeah.
than when, even though we're an 11-person small business, you all act like we're 1,100 people. Like, oh, I've seen him in the cafeteria, Roger, but I'm not connected to him. He's in accounting, I'm in marketing.
Sure.
Like, yeah, I've bumped into
It's
him, but like,
true.
I'm not going to wait for him.
He's in video. I'm on camera.
I give him a casual nod. I don't know.
I'll see him at the Christmas party. Yeah.
Roger in the chat, all caps. He was one person in front of me.
It was 4. It was 4 or 5. About 6 or 7 last I checked. So
That's
we're-
even better because it means that Andy in stride just leaves. Roger's just like putting his belt back on. Like, what the fuck?
I stood there for a little bit. I just didn't want to do it.
Sure.
But
not
we
gonna
see
need
Roger
notes.
and Mike, or we see Roger and Mike. It looks like they walked into the store, but the angle that we were at, there's a
We in the United Terminal?
the United Terminal.
Yeah.
New terminal or old
Honestly,
terminal?
this might be one of the dumbest stories we'll ever tell. But yeah, me and Andy was just standing there
not
talking,
even worth
waiting
it,
for
yeah.
them. And we see them walk into the store. But it was like an illusion. So we missed them leaving the store. So we're just like, what the fuck is Mike?
I don't know if they
buying
ever
here?
even walked in the store.
We just don't know.
Are you guys in the food court? And
We're just kind of standing near the food court, right? Like we're just standing there, like goons. Like we're not at the gate.
Let's say, look where I'm looking straight, Greg.
Yeah.
And so if looking straight
soup
is
restaurant back here?
if looking straight is noon, the burger place is
Yeah.
maybe my 3 or 4 o'clock.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That good falafel
And
place.
we just totally missed Mike and Raj.
We're definitely a team that just, when we go to the airport, everybody does their own thing because that's how this went, is right. And
Yeah.
so I had Roger with me. And as everyone knows, before you get on an airplane, you want a little vitamin C boost. You need an OJ. You know, as a
It's a
father.
long flight.
Exactly. As a father, you
SF
know,
to
right?
Vegas,
you got to
man.
get the kids an OJ. And so I told Roger, I was like, we
Blood
got to go into
sugar.
this organic juice spot and get a $12 OJ. And he's looking at
The
me
one
like,
right past the food court on
he's
the
like,
left.
you don't
I know
need
exactly
that.
where we're
And I
at.
was like, I got to have an OJ before this flight, Roger. So then we get an OJ. And then I go, well, I got to get my bottles of water for the flight. That's a rule, Roger.
Everyone, do you hear that?
bottles.
There is a plural there.
Bottles. Always. You got to have multiple because it dries you out
Always.
when you're on the airplane. And so then we go in there and I told Roger, I
And
said,
you're going to Vegas, the desert.
come on, thank you.
I
And
hope you
so
bought some hand cream, too.
I told Roger, I was like, I need you to know that I went shopping last night,
Yep.
but for clothes, and I didn't get my toiletry supplies that I normally grab from a Target. Now, was I 2 stores away from a Target while shopping? Yes. But did I buy anything there? No.
But also, what do you mean? Like from
Responsible
I
consumer.
feel like you have to go buy
And-
toiletries from a Target once, and then you have them.
Oh, no, I chuck mine usually after every single flight.
Oof, I can't get down with that.
So-
So, like your cologne, your hair, your
Yeah, like
toothpaste?
your little soap bottles. I only put enough in there for one trip. It's not like I'm just holding on to soap bottles for multiple trips.
Don't act like that's
that would be preposterous.
That's insane. Yeah,
I'll play along
that's
and I'll
a
be
whole
healed
nother
for
thing.
a while.
Yeah,
Stories.
No,
But, like, come on,
that's
man,
a whole
that's-
nother thing.
You're gonna notice that a lot.
I can't hold on to 3 bottles I would keep in
You're
the
gonna hold on
travel
to-
bag.
You're gonna hold on to those little 3 bottles for months on end.
Yeah, yes.
They're all wet
Also, how
bags.
much am I fucking? I'm having you travel twice a month right now. You're telling me all the time.
I travel once a year. That's
Also,
what
if
I'm
I could
doing.
say, I could not tell
Bullshit.
that Mike went shopping.
And
Like,
so-
he was just wearing a sweatshirt.
Because what did he show up in?
That
The
Game
Summer
Awards
Game
hit.
Fest out.
Oh, he was in the SGF fit. The
saw it
blue
on his
windbreakers
stories.
with the with the Timberlands.
Untied Tim's
And then
on.
I got so many comments that were just like, I love just the complete opposite of trying to get any sort of color coordination going.
No, don't try.
Like a Jackson Pollock painting.
So I get 3 bottles of water, I get some Twizzlers, and then I look at Roger, I go, well, I need a toothbrush, I need deodorant, I need lotion.
And you're buying those at the airport.
Bang, bang, bang.
That's really
So
expensive.
There it is right there. That
it
was
is.
it. And then I told Roger, I said, well, we're going to meet some nice people, Roger. Get some breath mints. And he was all uptight about getting breath mints. I said, grab some Altoids. It's going to be fine. Now, what did I do with those Altoids later the night?
Threw 'em away.
Left them right
Left
on the
them at
table.
Topgolf.
Literally ate 3, left them on the table, walked away.
Yeah.
Mike,
Didn't
throughout
need
this
them.
trip, throughout this weekend,
$53.
so you just bought
No.
a movie theater sized Twizzler pack, right?
Yeah,
How
yeah,
many
yeah.
times did you buy Twizzlers this weekend?
2 Twizzler packs.
Yeah.
There was more than one
Yeah.
purchasing of Twizzlers
Yeah.
within 26 hours.
I was in the mood. I was in the
Yeah,
mood.
he was in
and
the
I ate
mood.
some of them at wrestling. It
Yeah,
was
you
pretty
did?
good.
Yeah,
It
you
was
gave me
pretty
one.
good. I gave
Oh,
one
that's
to
that's
We had an
good.
intermission check-in since neither of them sat with me and I made new friends.
So, yeah, what did that come up to? $53.
$53.28.
Just a nice, strong
Yeah.
purchase right there.
I don't need the toiletries, but yeah, I'll keep the Twizzlers.
And so I'm feeling good. Me and Roger were sitting down. We're looking good, feeling good. He's worried. Where's Tim? I'm like, don't worry. Tim's his own man. He'll figure it out. And then we get onto the plane.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll tell the first half, but I need
Go
you to
for
pick
it.
up the second half. First half, saw my boy Ronnie 2K in
Yeah, you
first
did.
class, okay? First person I bump into, it's Ronnie. And I'm like, oh shit, I'm your biggest fan. I dap up Ronnie 2K. What a lifelong dream that is. I mean,
Did you tell him you're from Kind of Funny?
no, I fucked that up.
Greg, he handled this so poorly.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
In the way that that Mike does, which is like amazing, but also just weird and just off. Where it's like your excitement towards this man and the energy you put towards him. I thought, oh, they must clearly know each other so well, back and forth. Like Ronnie knows Mike. They're DMing.
Mike
they
did
know.
2K tournament and stuff.
No,
like that.
Mike's never met this
I
man.
dap up
This
Ronnie.
man
I go,
has no
oh my
idea
God,
who
Ronnie,
he
great
is.
to see you. Tim's going to totally love seeing you. And I just walk away.
No context.
So
no.
can you imagine being him? Just like, who the fuck is Tim? Who are you? What is happening? You know? And so then I walk in, and as we're walking onto the plane, and like, you know how a plane is, where it's like, it's a single
narrow.
file line, so it's like kind of hard to see people. Mike's leaning in front of like
He's
the,
about like 5 people in front of me and Tim.
yeah,
Okay.
so it's like there's a fair distance there, and I just see Mike looking over, Tim, look, look, like just pointing. And I look next to me, and it's Ronnie with the cutest dog I've ever seen on his lap. And the dog had like headphones on to like stop the sound from like bothering it.
Okay.
Because it's on an airplane. And like this dog must have been 8 pounds. And this little dog's wearing headphones. It was
Adorable.
the cutest, funniest thing. So shocking. I thought Mike was just like, Tim, look at this pooch. You know what I mean? Like
Tim
but
didn't know it was Ronnie because he looked immediately just had the dog.
I look straight at the dog, and then as I look up and I see it's Ronnie, it all clicks for me. I'm like, oh, I know Ronnie. Like I've met him like many times, usually on airplanes. It's weird,
Yeah.
but totally know
Ronnie's
this guy.
a traveling man.
And then he looks at me, and we just make that like. There's the moment of like, oh, okay, we know who each other is. What the fuck is happening? And then Mike's just like, I look over at Mike, and he just goes, just starts pointing at everything.
And then we get a moment that you
So much fun.
that you couldn't
God.
write.
So really
better.
quick, Greg, before this, because I want them
How
to tell
is
the
Mike
story.
not Content Creator of the Year at the Game Awards? What did we need to do? How are these stories?
It's before we got on the plane, you know me. I'm checking in with everybody. Where you sitting? What's your seat? You know what I mean? Just a little team check-in.
Yeah.
Are we sitting near each other? Are we sitting next to each other? My hopes, we're all taking up a line together. Why not? You know what I mean?
Of course.
Turns out we're not. But then, Tim?
Magic happens.
So explain the seating.
So yeah, let me explain. So I sit down, Mike, the whole time. Where you at, Rod? You're 27. What? You're man, I'm in 26. Andy, you're in 27. Man, you're behind me then. Jeez. So we're sitting down. I have my headphones on. People are still filing on, and I'm on window seat, row 27. Mike is middle seat, row 26. It may be 27, 28. Either way, you get the picture. So Mike's sitting a row ahead of me, and I'm like excited to see exactly what sort of stuff he's watching throughout the flight, whatever. It's going to be a good time. There's an empty seat next to me, and Mike's sitting next to a kid. Woman walks up to Mike and goes, "Hi, I'm sitting. Do you mind swapping with me? Because I'd like to sit next to my son right there." And Mike goes, "Oh, where are you at?" She goes, "Oh, right behind you," which is right next to me. And it could not have been written better. And Mike, "Oh, of course." And Roger starts laughing and cracking up. And Mike goes, "Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, I'll go sit back there." Because, of course, it's next to me. And Mike looks at me dead in the eyes and goes, "Now you're stuck with me." And it's just like, I start dying of laughter because it is the funniest fuck. Of course this happens.
But what's
Of
so
course. I
what's-
was like, somebody's pranking me right now.
It was so funny because it felt like a prank. It felt like a movie being written that like they would do this. But my favorite thing is it's Mike, so it sounded just like that, and it's threatening towards Andy like you're stuck with me.
Now you're stuck with me.
And the people that like brokered the deal, I saw their reaction to this of like, do they know each other? Like
What did we
happened?
just unleash?
Because the way that Andy reacted was, it looked like Andy was upset about this, right? And it was just such a funny thing, like to imagine the people sitting around us, like not knowing.
yeah.
Because how do you explain? How do you
was
explain?
perfect.
Can't.
Well,
no.
I put my head
Science
down.
has been trying.
I put my head down in laughter, so maybe she thought that I was just like, "Oh no, this man's been harassing me all day."
And then we watched Daddy's Home 2 the whole entire flight on mute. It was great.
Heard Mike breathing just through my ear headphones. Yeah,
That was the guy next to me. That was the guy next to me.
No,
Greg.
it
You
wasn't.
wouldn't
He
believe
wasn't
it.
even asleep.
He
It
was next to me.
Yeah, get some good breathing right there. I had a good flight though. I took a little nap. Breezed by. I would say
You had a
problem
tough
free.
time with your Steam Deck. You uptight about that?
Yeah, I couldn't get the Bluetooth headphones to connect. And I was sleepy anyway, so I just
PC
napped.
gaming, am I
It's a
right?
good time.
Yeah, so then we land in Vegas, and it was
With my portal and the headphones I can only use for PlayStation. I never had this problem.
a couple people's first time in Vegas. Both Andy and Roger had
Yeah.
not been there before. So get the experience of landing in a Vegas airport, a little fun,
nice.
a little
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
There's all the slot machines. You
Sure.
see, you're immediately like, oh, this Vegas is what they said it was going to be, you know?
Did you immediately put money in there? I have to. That seems like a Mike thing.
Oh, man. No, I'm not a slot machines guy. I'm a table
Okay.
man. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But anytime we walked by a table, if I was 2 steps ahead of everyone, I would stop and look back, and Mike would just be gone.
All 4 people are walking at the same time. And then Roger out of nowhere goes, "We lost Mike. We lost Mike." And we turn around. Where the fuck? He's at a table. He's
Taking a look at what's hot.
Yeah.
I mean, what table's hot right
Did you
now?
win?
I won once. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it.
How did she get 20, Mike? How did she have a fucking
I
jack?
won 1 out
That
of
was
3
bullshit.
times. Yeah, it was crazy stuff. Wait until you hear those stories. It's right.
Jesus.
So like we're here, and like I don't even know where to begin.
Taxi driver was wild. Oh,
that's a good call.
Taxi driver was wild.
Ladies,
Greg.
gentlemen, and NBs, I'll remind you this is the Kind of Funny podcast. You can get it each and every week. Of course, we hang out, talk shit with each other. If you like that, you should pick up the Kind of Funny membership. Of course, $10 gets you all of our episodes ad-free. It gets you the ability ability to watch live as we record it, just like Unique Technique is, Ghost Baker is, and Jenny is. And of course, you get a daily dose of me in a series we call Greg Way. However, you're not using your membership benefits right now. So here's a word from our sponsor.
This episode is brought to you by Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf. Y'all, when you take one good thing and you take another good thing and you mash them together, that is when magic happens. Kinda Funny loves Sonic the Hedgehog. Kinda Funny loves Topgolf. So you know Kinda Funny is hyped for Sonic the Hedgehog and friends to arrive at Topgolf at supersonic speed on Friday, November 15th with the launch of the new Topgolf game, Sonic the Hedgehog, exclusively available for play at Topgolf venues across the United States. Created for players of all skill levels, which is great for me, Topgolf meets the fast-paced action of Sonic in this new in-venue game where players go head-to-head in iconic virtual Sonic environments, Green Hill Zone and Sky Sanctuary. You can play as 4 iconic characters, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Amy, to hit springs, collect rings, and destroy badniks. For players making the transition from a joystick to a club for the first time, Topgolf has your back with its new club, the Sure Thing, designed to make golf less hard. Come play around with your friends and family at a Topgolf near you and try out the new Sonic the Hedgehog game. This episode's brought to you by Aura Frames. The holidays are all about connecting with loved ones, and there's no better way to do just that than with a digital picture frame from Aura. You can upload your favorite pics of the family to one frame and relive all those happy moments again. Or you could share big news, like a new addition to the family. Most people at Kinda Funny have Aura frames at their desks, and it's always so fun to walk out in the studio and see what memories they have displayed. It's a great gift for your parents or grandparents, and you can even surprise them with their gift being preset with your own pictures. And if that's not personal enough, you can even upload a video message to play on the frame as soon as they plug it in. So the first thing they hear is your voice and how much you love them. For a limited time, visit auraframes.com and get $45 off Aura's best-selling Carver Mat frames by using promo code KINDAFUNNY at checkout. That's auraframes.com, promo code KINDAFUNNY. This exclusive Black Friday Cyber Monday deal is their best of the year, so don't miss out. Terms and conditions apply.
The year is 2024. Lasers are a commonly used technology. Snakes have been replaced by small robots and nobody noticed. The government tells us we must choose between resolution, frame rate, and quality. We will not be lied to. For the first time in this long, bloody war, the full power of the visual triangle is ours. On sale now at kindafunny.com/store.
The taxi driver. I'm
Well-
gonna pour a Coke.
Well,
because I
then
gotta have a
okays
Coke.
says, how does this stuff happen? It's like, it just always does. Like this is the type of energy that no matter what trip we go on, when there's more than 2 Kinda Funny people together, it's bound
There's
to have
gonna
this
be
energy.
dumb stuff that happens.
So we get
100%.
in this taxi, and the vibes are immediately a little bit off. Like
Yeah.
this driver, his face a little too red, and I say that as somebody whose face is red often. But I'm like, okay, what's the vibe? Why is your face red? You know what I mean? What's going on? Is it a sun-related thing, or is this a drug-induced situation? And I'll say I don't have confirmation that it was.
Yeah.
But it was.
was a
This
long
man
life.
was very high.
Yeah.
Very, very, very high. And that's an assumption that you can make and whatever. There was a smell. I was in the front seat, so I was like really taking a lot
You're
of this.
good.
There was a smell and an offer.
And he was speeding.
And
Hard speeding.
this man goes like, hey, y'all in Vegas, why are you here? And it's like, okay, like, how do we explain? We're here for Sonic the Hedgehog. You
We
know what
love
I mean?
golf in Sonic, and we're here for
And
it.
we try to explain it. And this guy just starts talking. There's just a vibe to his voice that all of us could feel. We're like, this could go bad. I don't know
Video
what
games,
side of
huh?
history
He's
this
gonna
man
say
is
something.
on. Like, what are we doing here? But we were all very hungry. We were looking for, our plan was what restaurant are we going to? And I was
Most
like,
unhinged recommendations.
I was like, hey man, so like we're about to go to the MGM. Like, what restaurants do you recommend? Because he was like, oh, do you guys need any advice on anything? I was like, yeah. What food?
It's like he went for the most comedic options. Go ahead, Tim.
He just goes, he's like, oh well, there's a Rainforest Cafe, there's a Jimmy John's,
Oh, yeah.
There's a Hooters.
there's a Hooters. That like he just starts naming all these things, and it was just like.
He's doing the Michael Scott in The Office, the Sbarro joke, a New York slice sort of thing, like giving us every chain possible. He didn't say
that's
Applebee's.
Vegas.
It was great. It was great.
And
stuff.
so it's just like, all right, that interesting choices, but okay. And then it gets quiet for a bit, and then he just goes, "You guys want any alcohol?" And we're like, "Oh no, we're good." How about some weed? You guys want some weed? Nah, we're good.
You guys,
Because I got both. I can take you where you need to go. Oh, it's already a prefixed pay for this thing, so I don't even need to add anything. We can just I can get you what you guys need. We're like, we're just good.
He's
We're
just side
good.
hustling at this point.
And
It
he's
really-
just like so in this and just pushing drugs on us.
Yeah, it just
in a
felt
way
like
I was like, hey, we said we're not showing any interest in this. It's not like, oh, he think he might get something out of us. Like we're just saying no at every turn. Then it gets quiet for a while.
Yeah.
We had talked about
fuck
Sonic
this with the
earlier.
drugs.
This was the end. This was the final stuff.
And he just goes, hey, so when are they gonna make Mario great again?
No,
He said, I don't want to offend anyone here.
That's
but
what he prefaces it with,
Yeah.
and when we all go like, "Oh God, here we go,"
Here we go.
But it's him sort of prefacing it with, "All right, well, I'm not trying to get anybody mad or offend anybody here." And it's like, "Oh fuck, here we
Here it
go."
goes.
And he's like, "When are they gonna make Mario great again?" Because we were just talking about video games, and it's like, "Oh, okay, well, I don't know, man. The kids, they made a movie. I
We're
don't know.
still good. I don't know.
Our
But
answer didn't matter."
it was just so uncomfortable, and I don't think he realized like how uncomfortable we were with the setup that he
Yeah.
gave us there. Like he thought that was just a normal question and a normal way to do that. So we're like, all right, feeling the energy. What a great introduction to Vegas. We get in to the hotel, waiting in line to check in. Mike's in front of all of us. All right,
Yep.
Andy.
Happy.
I mean, we go to check in, and there's a long ass line, and we're waiting so long, and Mike is just fucking talking the dude's ear off, and I almost walk up to him and be like, "Can you hurry the fuck up? Can you stop asking this man recommendations?" But of course they love them. I walk up to the lady next to him, and the guy was like, "You know that guy?" He's like, "Man, that guy needs to get into like esports or something." And he started doing the Mike imitation voice and be like, yeah. He started doing and it's every person that Mike talks to requires like he gets to know them,
Yeah.
and that's why we love Mike, and that's why I'm annoyed by Mike a lot
Yeah,
too,
yeah,
because I'm like, people are waiting, dude.
Andy's
He's just
looking at me
leading.
while this guy's talking to me. He goes, "Hurry up!" And I'm asking, Jared, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
He's excited about Complex Con. His girlfriend loves fashion. He loves music. I'm like, "Oh, Complex Con, big deal right now. You got Gunna in the building. Oh, don't start me about Gunna, Mike." I'm like, "That's my guy right
You
there."
learned a
That's
lot
crazy.
more about him than I thought you did.
Crazy. We had a great conversation.
So he's having this whole conversation, and then I go like way far
You
down
guys are just
to
starving.
check
You
in.
want to check in, take
And
a shit.
I check in, and it's so fast, me checking in, that as I start walking back, Roger, who was behind me, he looks over at me very concerned, like that Roger face of like, what's going on? And like I get to him, I'm like, oh, it's all good. He's like, oh, I thought something was wrong with yours because of how fast it was. And I'm like, no, Mike is just taking so long because he's getting to know this guy's every
Talking it up,
detail.
man. Complex Con is in town. It's a big deal.
It is
you know?
a big deal. yeah.
What's your recommendations outside and inside the MGM? I need to know about his life.
I'm
you
here
know?
for 7 hours. Give me the whole fucking run. What's that? Give
God.
me enough things to last a week here.
So we check in and then get into the hotel. Kind of scary. Like I just didn't know how to get there. We were lost a little bit. Do we walk down this long ass hallway, Mike?
man.
a mile long.
That looks like we're going into the back room.
Yeah.
Like there's going to be a moment in this story where Tim walks so far down this hallway and then goes into what seems like a shape-shifting
Different
light.
dimension.
Some Alan Wake shit.
He's gone. He's never coming.
So we check in real quick, and we're like, all right, we got a fast turnaround because the Top Golf event that we were there for started at 8 p.m. And at this point, it was like 4. So we're like, we need to go get food. What are we gonna do?
At this point, before this, I look at Tim and I'm like, Tim, this is my first time in Vegas. I don't really plan on ever coming back here unless it's for some other event or whatever. You want to do this? You want to go watch this movie in the Sphere? I want to do the Sphere. Like I can't leave here without experiencing the Sphere's offerings.
And I'm so happy because I feel like I didn't want to force this on anybody, but of course I want to go to the goddamn Sphere.
wanted to go.
I'm in Vegas, and everyone was in, and I'm like, I love this. Gonna take advantage of the opportunity. Let's go. So we were like looking at the times, and it kind of was perfect because the Sphere, for those that don't know, is the giant building in Vegas that is a sphere covered in LED walls on the outside, and then also on the inside there's a giant theater experience. And there's been some concerts there. Thank you very much, Barrett. There's been a couple concerts, like with a couple little like small residencies and stuff. But the main thing that they do is there's 2 showings a day of a Darren Aronofsky 50-minute film that was made for the Sphere. It's called Postcard from Planet Earth.
Ooh, Barrett, can you scroll up while Tim is explaining this and just go to that image on the far bottom right, just to kind of like get a sense of what the scale is, if we can like full screen that, because it's so hard to pictures will never in a million years do this justice. As I'm trying to record any of this, I'm like, this sucks.
Like, there's no sense of scale to it all. So it's all relative. But we go to see this movie. It's about $100, which, that's a pretty hefty investment. But what that gets you is you can watch the 50-minute movie. You also get about 45 minutes of just hanging out in like the Sphere lobby, which was very reminiscent of early 2000s Metreon, where it's meant to be like, look at this, like, it's not a museum. It's kind of designed to be more like, look how cool bars and social areas could be in the future. There's like robots and there's like flying digital images and like just a lot of, it's very Blade Runner 2049 vibes.
They had a bunch of like different AI robots that you could like sit there and just talk to. But the coolest part was,
how hot were they?
Super sexy, actually. Did you ever see the video of that dude pretending to do the Doctor Strange cosplay, but it looked like he was actually doing the ring, and it's like that spinning thing with LED lights on it.
Oh, nice.
So they had a wall full of little spinning LED lights that made it look like these spinning holograms were just kind of floating in midair. Cool. It was awesome looking, very futuristic.
Yeah, so we get to kind of just hang out there. That's where we had the too many napkins, and great times overall. Like, I feel like the experience was pretty damn good. Like, it was like,
the food good here?
Dude.
Surprisingly?
Okay.
Dude, I mean, here's the thing. Roger's like, I'm about to spend $32 on a burger. Like, this is going to suck. And I was like, you'll be lucky if it's $32, right? And wasn't very expensive. Like, 3 really, really damn good chicken tenders with amazing waffle fries, and it was like $14. I was like, it could have just been that I was way too hungry, and I would have eaten anything, but I thought it was freaking delicious. It was really, really good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good food, but it was not bad food.
Like a solid stadium fare. You know what I mean?
I was expecting like shitty nachos, like at a ballpark or whatever.
Yeah, so very good.
Two things I just need to know, like, there was a lot of shit talking today.
Yeah.
Specifically about Tim, number one, that he was running this as a militant operation.
Yeah, we didn't talk about Tim. Like, I didn't get to say my piece yet.
What I got told today when I was getting the
what shit could I possibly
when I was
be
hearing
getting?
the chirps today, the things people were complaining about is when they got to the lobby, they're like, all right, we're gonna see you back down here in an hour, and Tim was like, no, 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
That is not how that went.
We were around at the hotel. You thought maybe I kick my shoes off, I get a quick stretching. Tim looked at me, he goes, you get 5 minutes and dress for tonight too. And I said, shit, Tim. Usually I take a shower and shit. He's like, you don't need one today.
So we were talking in that lobby at around like 2:43, and Tim was like, let's be back down here by 3 or something like that. And I was like, how about 3:05?
Yeah, Andy got his 10 minutes. It was nice.
And that was about it. I mean, it was fine. I think
We were fine.
And then the other thing
First
is,
off, it was a suggestion of should we meet downstairs in 5 minutes? Because all of our rooms are not even downstairs, outside the room we were meeting. Just walk in, drop your shit off, fucking do what you got to do, and then let's get going. But Andy's like, how about 10 minutes? I'm like, all right, cool. If someone said, can I get more? That would have been totally fine.
They know how
But
much
more
the
than that,
Sphere
though,
meant to
we
you.
had things to do.
We had to
They-
go.
We had to go. We
saying.
were hungry. All of us were so hungry.
They didn't feed
now
me
that's
at
the
all.
other thing is I've heard that, but then Mike didn't eat apparently.
It was
Mike-
crazy.
Mike's been saying all day you guys didn't feed
let's
him.
keep track of the food intake that Mike's had
All right.
thus far.
Yeah,
you know?
because
Well,
it is lengthy.
Let's make sure we take care of the
'Cause
food.
Mike had
because I
three-
did not get to eat.
Mike had so around 3:45. Mike had
Starbucks for the second time today.
Starbucks for the second time. 3 chicken tenders, fries, pretzel from Tim, Twizzlers, and then we experienced the Sphere. Here's
And
my-
a Red Bull.
And a
I
Red Bull.
told Roger.
Oh
I
yeah,
said,
he
Red
said,
Bulls.
Roger, get me a Red Bull. It's for me. And we're like, we
know it's for you.
But here's my thing with the little time, Mike, because my thing in a hotel, whenever
Yeah,
I
he
get
likes to take his time.
whenever I get to like take my time and relax, I take my socks off. And I just let them little puppies breathe. I let my toes just kind of like separate.
I don't know what it says about me and how long we've worked together. I do this. I'm like, I know where this is
I
going.
separate my toes and I get the
them
lint
in the
out.
carpet.
Yeah, and I just kind of like I just let them breathe in the air, and I put my socks like on the AC unit if there ever is an AC unit. And I usually need at least like a good 25 to 30 with that. Wasn't afforded that unfortunately because Tim had a gun to our heads.
The Sphere Gestapo. We gotta go.
But anyway, so we're waiting there for the Sphere. We're eating our
then we
little
get to the
munchies.
Sphere, right?
Hold on, real quick. Thank you for bringing up the chai because, like, I know that Mike drinks these like Venti, Trenta, whatever the hell they are, iced chais, right?
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not hating on that at all. I
not at
totally
all.
get it. I drink a shit ton of Starbucks myself. Like, I get how this goes. I know that sometimes you get more than one iced chai a day, and that is something that I look and go, Mike, I don't know if that's a good idea. In fact, I know it's a bad idea, but like you do it, and I'm not going to judge you. The thing that I think I'm going to judge you for, that I've never seen in action, is how fast he sucks this thing down. He's like, I'm about to go. I'm going to Starbucks, and
We're in line.
He fucking. I just see him walking. He's like looking for a garbage can, and I'm like, "Oh, you just bought that thing?" And I look at it. I'm like, "It's just ice. Like you sucked the fucking 20 fluid ounces of this."
You gotta feel
gotta
that.
feel
Oh
night.
my god, it was crazy.
But we were so hungry. Then we're waiting there
So
in line.
I had to walk a mile for the bathroom. That
Yeah.
sucked. You know what I mean?
Well, Mike needs to peel out because he always is
I'm just
full
chugging.
of liquid. Yeah.
Lots of chai. Lots of chai.
Mike immediately tried to sneak into the sphere to get into the doors to like go look in. I'm like, can you just not be
You know
satisfied
when you go to
where
a
you're at?
stadium and you want to, you go to the ballpark and it's like, oh, I want to see the viewpoint from
course,
this area. I
of
want to take a
course.
photo with Pops. You know what I mean?
You
That's
weren't
all I
gonna
wanted.
do
I wanted
that.
to see the. I wanted to see the bottom row. We're gonna sit up in the nosebleeds. Let me see the bottom row.
I hear you. I'm right
Try
there
to
with you.
sneak in
Yeah.
there.
So he tries to sneak it in there, and this didn't go that far, which I'm happy about because this story could have ended very differently. But me and Roger are like, what's he doing? And we look at him, we see him start to walk off, and we know him, so we put it together. Oh, he's trying to get in. He's trying to get in early, whatever. Did you see where he was walking?
Yeah.
Into the women's restroom.
Into the women's restroom.
There's the main door, and then the two restroom doors are right next to him. And I was following two people, and they were walking towards where I wanted to sneak in. And then they went towards the light, and I didn't see it. And then I snapped out of it, like, "Holy shit!"
Didn't have his
That's
glasses.
the-
They didn't let you.
And it was just like, what is happening?
He was like
here?
hovering in the entrance and was like, "Oh no, this is the women's restroom."
Yeah, exactly.
But again, it's
Snap
always
out of it.
it's always the mentality that like wherever I'm at is not. I need the better thing.
There could be
The
something
grass
cool
is
out
I
always
just wanted to
greener.
see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta see it, because
Yeah.
the word around town, Greg, just so you know,
Please
is
let me know the
there's
word.
a certain area, a certain section in the sphere where you're actually underneath the mezzanine, mezzanine above you. So
Okay.
you don't get the full sphere experience.
Mezzanine.
Imagine that.
No, I
Imagine
want
that.
the 360.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we had, like,
I
the best seats
I had
possible.
to see it. I had to see it just in case.
Like our seats were impeccable. Like we lucked out having that, but like they were freaking awesome. So getting to the sphere on the outside, you see it and it's like it's giant, like it's a massive building, LED walls all over the outside, and it when you're up close doesn't look great. You know what I mean? Like I'm a LED wall connoisseur. Right, I'm looking at this shit from afar. Which anywhere you're in Vegas, you see this
see it,
goddamn
yeah.
thing, and that looks cool. But like when you're like really close to it, like it doesn't look high quality. Everything looks a little like blurry and moray, whatever. Like, fine. So I was kind of like, is this gonna be cool, or is this gonna be really shitty going into this theater? And when we sat in there, Andy, what was your first thoughts?
I mean, this place is real tall. Like this place is just so massive that I looked at Tim. I was like, Tim, I'm looking down there at how big a human is, and they're very, very small. Like this place is much larger than I thought, and I can't even. It's so high that I can't grasp like what does a human look like up there? What's the scale like? How it's so big that I'm losing my depth perception. You know what I mean? But in the middle of the screen, it's just we just have this little rectangle.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that's I'm assuming like an IMAX similar experience
Because we have the Metreon IMAX here in San Francisco, which is one of the biggest IMAXs in the world, and it's massive. And I've lived here my entire life. Since the week that thing was installed in SF, I've been going to it, and every single time when I walk in, there's a sense of like, whoa, like this is a big screen. I think it's like 100 feet or something like that. Like it's big. The Sphere, it feels like 5 to 10 times
Holy
as
shit.
big. It's insanely big. And because it's like, it takes up your entire field of vision essentially from the front, but it also like wraps around on top of you. It's not 360, but it might as well be because it's like they're only going to like produce content for what you can actually see. But to start it all off, yeah, it's like just like a 16:9 in the center of it, kind of like, you know, to not give away the
What
whole
you're getting into,
experience. Yeah.
Yeah, and so this
Got to build to it.
Yeah, this movie's by Darren Aronofsky. It's a kind of like nature / world / fictional type story where it's like it starts off and it's these two humans in space and they're like tied up to these like locked into these breathing tubes or these like living tubes, and you could tell like, oh, they're maybe went through like some cryogenic sleep or whatever. Very sci-fi looking. I expected it to look a lot worse based on, you know, not that it looked amazing at any point, but Tim was mentioning that he saw some clips and he was like, yeah, the CG is kind of like hokey at some points. I thought it looked pretty decently in these like early moments. and it's like these two people, and they're waking up, and you hear like whispering, like, "Wake up slowly," you know, be calm, relax, and it's like these people that have been asleep for who knows how many decades or whatever, and they got all this cool like sci-fi tech or whatever, and it's going to be a story about Mother Earth and why these two people had to leave or whatever. But then, and it's all in 16:9 for about 8 to 10 minutes, I would say, maybe like 5 to 8 minutes, and it's just like in that little crop. But the visual quality really good. Like, I mean, it's
really. I was incredibly
could not
impressed.
see pixels, could not none of that. It was really damn good looking.
Like, to the point that, I mean, y'all know how I am about OLED and like the quality of TV screens and resolution, and all that stuff. Like, this looked like a gigantic version of my OLED screen. Like, the clarity of it all, how sharp everything was. Like, I was absolutely blown away by the quality.
And then what do, Mike? They go boo, and they show the planet Earth, right? And the planet Earth is inside of that 16:9 crop, and they're talking about, but Mother Earth was a different place back then, or whatever. And it starts zooming in, and it goes beyond the crop and the borders of the actual screen, and then the stars start appearing alongside, all around you, and it was one of the most horrifying experiences.
Overwhelming.
It was awesome.
Greg, this fucking like planet Earth was so gigantic to the point where I was like, I feel like I may have a heart attack right now. This is terrifying, but amazing and exhilarating.
And in addition to the massive, beautiful screen, every single seat has a subwoofer in it.
Oh.
So like you're getting this bass experience, speakers everywhere.
Yeah,
this is like
my Gucci
Atmos
was
times
vibrating.
1,000, man. And they're also like blowing wind. Like, it's one of those like 40 effect type things, not 40x, but like it was crazy. And yeah, this moment was incredibly overwhelming, and then you just kind of like jump into it, and it's like
not in a bad way. Like, it was amazing, but I was still like, holy fuck, like this is fucking crazy.
They did a great job of like being like, oh, you thought it was just this? No, you stupid fucker. Like, we're going, it's what you expect it to be. And then it's like 50 minutes of like stock footage stuff, really beautiful stock. It's not actually stock footage, but it's like, you know, we're in the savannah, we're going underwater, and like they try to like tell this whole story, and like there's just such an irony to it, because the whole thing is about, we got to protect the Earth, like we fucked this up, like,
but you're in Vegas,
but we're in fucking Vegas, in the most expensive building in the world. Like, get the fuck out of here with your messages. Like, it just felt so stupid.
But it starts off very, very hopeful, right? We're seeing but Mike was like, I bet you there's gonna be a giraffe right here. Turns out the giraffe was on the other side, but it was still awesome as shit. Yeah. And then they would do incredible close-up macro shots of a little iguana on a leaf, and it's gonna eat that bug. But the depth of field looks fantastic, and like I feel like every other shot, one of us four was being like, holy
shit,
fuck, that looks amazing.
Every time.
And it's fly-throughs of villages in different parts of the world, and it's beautiful and like emotional. I thought it was a really sort of well done, even though a lot of it is just fly-throughs with narrators being like, and humans were able to blah blah blah, right? And then you start seeing, but then shit went real, and fuckface over here started to mess up.
Eric pops up.
Yeah, and then it's a flyover of an oil rig sort of town or whatever, with all the little things like pumping the Mother Earth for the juice or whatever, and then it starts showing you like. Then it gets really, really overwhelming, because that subwoofer gets put to maximum effect, and it's like, then it does a thing where it's a million different shots of like, boom, floods, boom, tornadoes, boom, people fucking dying, and it's just like all this shit kind of with the music swelling. I was like, holy shit, this is crazy, and boom, it's just pure black silence, and then they kind of continue the story, but I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
There were multiple moments that were like, this is impactful. Like, this shit's actually hitting. And even like some of them weren't, I don't think, like designed necessarily to be like the craziest thing. I feel like some of the simplest things like hit me the hardest. Like seeing, there was a bunch of macro shots of like really, really close up of like a tiny little spider or like an iguana, like sticking his tongue out and like grabbing something. And we're so close to it, and it's in such high quality that like, just sitting with it for a second kind of just felt like, oh, wow. Like, there's just so much to the world. And, like, went through a bunch of different little, like, cultural bits. And there was the scene that, like made me, like, the most, like, emotionally, like, verklempt or whatever that word is.
Yeah.
Is, like, there was, like, a big Uncharted 4-esque canyon.
System
like,
almost.
yeah, and like you just see this like beautiful small little shrine temple thing, and just a group of people like walking towards it, and it just I've never seen anything like it. Like it just like had such a powerful effect on me just because it was just like, man, there's so much out in the world that like I'm so happy we're able to see it all through this type of thing. But it just felt very special to see it presented this way. Like the Sphere's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is one of those experiences where I'm like, we spent $114 each.
Wow.
On the ticket, and was initially kind of like, all right, I mean, if that's the price of admission, sure. Like, I just really want to experience this, but that's pretty expensive. And this is something that I would say, if you're going to Vegas, you have to go see this because you'll never see anything like it. It is a one-of-a-kind type deal.
They start doing interiors of buildings, and it's unbelievable.
Holy shit.
They do some churches in there where you go through and you can see the whole top of it. It was beautiful. Not enough top play is what I told Roger at the beginning.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of vistas. I'm just like,
Yeah.
just the bottom, and I'm like looking up at blue sky. I'm like, Roger,
I think
because
we
start using it.
I think
Start
if we
using
were
it.
higher up, honestly, I think
Yeah.
if we were a bit lower, it would have been more at eye level, like the stuff that was in front of us.
Well, then they just don't even see the above stuff, which to me, I like it. Like, I liked that they didn't overdo it where I thought it was very well produced in terms of like guiding your eyes and like, because there was moments where it would show like a bunch of like amoeba or whatever the hell, like little molecules
yeah.
and shit. And that took up everything. And that made it really impactful. Like, oh, wow. Like you feel like you're inside this thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I would say my piece of feedback, more whales. Needed more whales.
More underwater scenes in general.
Like
Just
when
more
we
water.
started
Yeah.
diving underwater, I was like, oh, I looked at Tim, I was like, we're doing underwater stuff. This is exciting. And I just wanted more senses of scale of like gigantic blue whale with a little dude swimming next to it. Like I wanted more stuff like that. And not enough space. I thought we were going to get more space, Tim.
Yeah.
I guess it was
me
about
too.
Earth, but you know.
Yeah. Well, I feel like there'll be another thing. But yeah, it was interesting that like they play this twice a day. And so we were like, all right, cool. We have enough time to make this all happen. And it ended. All of us were like, wowed. Mike, what was what are your real thoughts on the Sphere experience?
Oh, you know what the Sphere reminded me of, Greggy? Back in the day when you were a kid at elementary and middle school, when you used to go on the field trips to the museum
Planetarium.
and you would go to the planetarium or your first ever IMAX experience, it felt like that experience as a kid, how excited you were to go to that. And then you would all file into the IMAX and watch that awesome nature doc. That, but for adults. And it was pretty epic to see like everyone smiling, everyone was wowed, and we were just watching nature, right? It
Yeah.
wasn't like we were getting U2 shredding our faces off. It was just like, yo, here's like a lizard. We were all like, oh, shit, it's a goddamn lizard. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
look at this elephant. The elephant looks crazy.
Yeah, I think I agree with these guys. That's a must see. That's
Yeah.
worth every penny.
The
for
horses
sure.
running by, that one shot of like of super fast like tracking shot, and it's all in like 120 frames per second.
Yeah.
So like there were a couple of moments where they went back near the very, very end to the 16:9 of the two people on the ship, and they're waking up, and their task was like to sort of have another planet be habitable or whatever. So, and then they do that thing, and it's in 30, and then it starts expanding one more time for like the grand finale. Then it goes straight into like the 120 hertz thing. It was awesome. The that tracking shot of just like a lion running at shit. Man, it was powerful. You just felt like all the vibrating seats underneath you was
That sounds cool.
really, really.
There
damn
was
cool.
one other really cool thing I want to shout out where it's like the story of it was kind of like, you know, the Earth was beautiful and we loved it for its beauty, but then we thought we could improve it, so we made buildings, and then we wanted to take to the skies. It was like hot air balloons, and then it just kept like building like humans, and it was like, but then we learned we could turn it in on ourselves, and like you're in a theater, like a crowded theater watching a performance, and the camera's like on the stage and it kind of just turns and like 180 flips, and then you just see the entire audience looking at you, and there's just hundreds of people staring at you,
and it's just silence.
and it's silent, and it's like, holy shit, we're in this shit. Like, this is
Yeah,
like,
it was cool.
Like, it
Yeah,
was,
we're the Sphere.
it was
well,
weird.
because they were like clapping and cheering, and then they just immediately fall silent, and you're just looking back at them, and they're looking back, and you're like, what do we do?
This is what are we doing?
Are we gonna kiss, or what do we
wanna
do?
watch this dance? Like, what's
Yeah.
happening, man? Shit was crazy.
It was awesome.
So yeah, we finished the Sphere, and then we were like, all right, we don't have much time to get back to this Topgolf event. So
Met our first Kind of Funny best friend outside of the Sphere.
yes, which was awesome.
Shout out to CJ.
Oh,
Not
shout out to
CJ
yeah,
Splits
yeah.
on,
We thought
which
it was CJ
we
Splits.
clarified.
CJ Splits
But
on.
good
One of
to
the
see
cooler
CJ.
things, Mike, was that when we exited the Sphere, where were we?
Where were we? The grand finale of the F1 race that will take place this weekend.
Uh-huh.
We were on the track. Of course, as many people know, F1 gone to Vegas last year. So like the track is all through the Strip and the Sphere. But when we were there, we were on the grand stage looking out there. Parking was mayhem trying to get Ubers in, but it was really cool to see the grandstands, the stage behind us, and where the Sphere will be. That's a must-watch thing.
Even on the drive over there, it's like, oh, we're on the track right now. This is
That's
wild.
cool. That's really cool.
Yes.
Fencing a little small, me and Andy decided.
Oh, yeah.
For cars going 120 miles plus an hour, fencing not that high.
That's like
I think
15
that car's
feet.
coming through.
I need that. I need it to be 60 feet.
Yeah. And as we were walking to the Sphere, actually, Andy, you brought up the most amazing comparison I've ever heard about Snowbike Mike.
Oh, right. So at one point, Roger starts laughing a lot as we're walking down the sidewalks, and there's like cars, traffic, and I'm like, what? And he goes, fucking Mike, dude. And I was like, what? He goes, there's a lady in her car, and then Mike just starts pointing at her. And she sees him pointing, and she's like, hi. She said, hey, or whatever. And Mike goes, I thought she had a fucking cat with her.
She had a sweater. She was doing this. And I was like, hey, you know what I mean? Thought it was a cute
I
dog.
thought it was a cat. And then I came to the conclusion that Mike is Will Ferrell an elf. He is Buddy the elf. He's in a world
Everything's brand new.
It's a brand new experience. Everything, he could walk by a dude getting held up at gunpoint and be like, oh, cool. Like it was
Hug a raccoon, eat gum off the street.
It's Encino Man. He's in an isekai. He's in a world that he's not used to. And everything is a magical experience,
A
including
fish out of water.
Had to give her a little point.
Yeah,
That's
the
all.
point of the lady in the car.
Sounded like she took
Had
it
to
well.
do it.
Sounded like she
took
thought it
it
was
well.
a
She
comment.
thought it was nice.
So then it's freezing cold as we're waiting for the Uber, but
It
we
was
finally.
perfect.
It was so cold.
Greg, it was a fantastic cold desert night. You couldn't have
How
asked
cold
for
are
a
we
better.
talking?
I would use the word
Oh,
frigid.
45.
Yeah.
Wow,
Like,
okay.
45 with about like 25 mile an hour winds.
Yes.
It was cold as fuck. Everybody out there was miserable. Like you had people just like, okay, like it was a really bad time. It was not a good time.
So we get.
But Mike walked out. He's like, "Oh, it's a good night."
It was a great time.
So we get back to the hotel, and our hotel was where the Topgolf was.
smart.
As we're walking in, we see Mike making more friends.
Oh yeah, who did I make friends? Who did I make friends with this time?
The lady of the night.
Oh no, that's later. That's
Oh,
later.
that's
later.
Yeah. She got over on me.
That's later. That's
She's trying
later.
to holler at me.
That's
She's
later
trying to holler
on.
at
We
me.
walk into Topgolf.
Oh well, I got another Starbucks. Roger
have to.
wanted Starbucks this
Keep it
time.
up. Keep
so
it
I
up.
got more Starbucks this time. But this one I was.
Hey, you found your Superman shirt.
Did, thank God.
It was
I'm
missing
happy.
for a
It was
while. I forgot about
missing
that.
for a week
Thank
and a half. Tim
God.
was really, really uptight. I was not happy about that.
Yeah.
And he asked, like, "What's up with your clothing?" Without the Superman shirt, I'm lost. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I had to get into the
Oh, that's
closet. And I wasn't
right.
happy about things.
That's right.
So we
I
get more
lost my Superman
Starbucks.
shirt. I was like, what does that matter? He goes, well, that's the shirt I put underneath my
That's
my
the start.
stuff. And I was
Yeah.
like, okay,
It's a base
but
layer.
it's an underneath shirt. Who cares?
Needed it. And so we get more Starbucks. But Greg, I want you to know, I didn't drink all this Starbucks
Okay.
because I was thinking ahead. I was like, I'm going to start drinking margaritas. I don't need to base layer this with another chai frappuccino.
Yeah.
So I put it on the table, didn't touch it. Also, can
No,
we
wait,
just
so
talk,
you bought it though?
can we talk about this hotel?
Yeah.
They got smart waters. Okay, Greg, they got smart waters
Yeah.
on the table.
It was meant for us.
This was a perfect experience. So we'll talk about the waters later.
How much was the Smart Waters?
I don't remember. You were the one who checked
Oh, I
the prices.
remember.
yeah. I didn't look at the prices. Don't worry about it.
$20.
Probably not a smart water. And it was worth it.
$20.
I opened one.
They're
It was fun.
smart.
You opened one?
I opened one, yeah.
Yeah, he said we needed one.
Kind of
We needed
immediately.
It. It was
Kind
thirsty.
of immediately. Put a little emergency in there, Mike. Yeah.
Shout out.
Smart.
This
Make it
is the
smarter.
moment.
Smarter water.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got back early before Topgolf. So we had about, 20 minutes, maybe 30. So I took a short shower. I felt good. I took a short shower. I was like, you know what? This was what we needed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is it.
Reboot.
Put all my clothes back on, and we took a long walk to Topgolf. This MGM Grand.
Huge.
Wow. What a facility. What a property. This was massive, Greg. Did you know they got a Subway in a tunnel that's pumping Subway fresh bread,
Oh my God.
bread into the lobby?
Dude, we walk into the lobby. First thing Roger goes, there's a Subway here. There's a Subway.
And there was
And we
Greg,
look around, there's no Subway.
That's the crazy part. There was, but it was nowhere close to
Nowhere
where
to be
we were.
seen, yeah.
It was just underground on a different level in a way different part. But I looked at Roger and Mike and I was like, I bet you they have meetings, these executives of like, we got to do something about this Subway. Like it stinks like Subway everywhere.
Even Jared was like, damn, I'm hungry now because of this. And I was like, bro, I feel you, man. Like, that's fucked up.
You talking about Jared's from Subway?
His name was Jared. The guy at the front desk.
What a
Oh, see, I
coincidence.
definitely thought. I definitely thought you're making.
I get that. I was like, oh, yeah, poor Jared.
Why would you think him? Why? I'm talking about the guy we talked about for 2 minutes.
The guy at the check-in was named Jared. And so, yeah, we had a nice little walk.
Yeah.
Arrived. Let's show off some photos. Because they did a great job.
They did an amazing job.
They did a great
with
job.
this
They went
place.
above and
Yeah.
beyond on this
Oh,
one.
yeah. So if you check out it in Assets Barrett, there's just a picture I sent of us with Sonic himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sonic was there.
Sonic was there, which is really, really cool. Yeah, they. I don't have.
Nothing looks better than a just thick
I know.
blue light photo.
There we go. But no, so they went all out with the Sonic
Roger
event.
looks like he is a blue man.
Roger loves the blue
He
man
loves the
group.
Blue Man
He
group.
loves them.
We learned a lot about
Who won
it. He
it?
told us at the Blue Man group, he was like learning lore about them recently. He told us that they are aliens. That in their lore, they're
Yeah.
aliens that are learning music and started playing pipes and start. Yeah,
Smart.
Interesting.
That's cool.
So we're we get here and like almost immediately. I don't know. I don't want to speak for you guys. I was incredibly impressed with this event where I'm like, they went so all out. I thought, Sonic the Hedgehog at Topgolf, like the game's here, but the event we're at is just going to be at Topgolf.
I was blown away as a viewer to look at your stories. And they had like the rings hanging above the bar and Sonic. And I was like, damn, this actually looks like a real deal.
And the DJ's like playing like real music and stuff, but every like once in a while we'll just like slide into Sonic song. And I'm like nerding the fuck out. I'm just like, this is insane that this is all happening right now. And it was a super great event. Very chill. I'd say maybe like 50 people total.
Yeah,
right?
wasn't
Something like
many.
that.
And so what was it open to the public?
No,
Influencers?
not at all.
Okay.
This was a very, very private launch event. Like, shockingly. Like there was maybe like 15 to 20 like influencer type people, but they were all like either like golf enthusiasts, like top golf enthusiasts, or Sonic people.
Yeah.
For the most part. We ran into Mari Takahashi, and Angelica Trey was there. Gonda Chris, who the awesome artist that makes the amiibos.
I immediately, when you sent me the photo of her, I was like, oh, dude, go to a restaurant because she's always doing a restaurant. I don't think I'm disconnected that she's in Vegas, but yeah.
Yep, she was telling me all about that restaurant thing too, which is awesome. But yeah, it was just cool stuff for me. The thing that I like freaked out in the most Tim Geddes nerd way possible. I saw this dude and I'm like, holy crap, this is this Sonic YouTuber that I know. And I only know him because he is the guy that edited the videos for the Sonic Symphony. So like all of the like videos they play during the songs. And like, dude, the Sonic Symphony videos are, I think, the greatest implementation of this type of thing I've ever seen. I've seen video games live. I've seen Distant Worlds from Final Fantasy. I've seen like all the shit. The Sonic stuff, they know what the fuck they're doing. And it's because it's this super fan. So I got to see him and tell him that. He was definitely like, well, no one's ever complimented me about that specific thing, but thank you. And then, yeah, we played some Topgolf.
Yeah, they did a great job. I mean, as you know, Greg, Topgolf is over the top already. It is massive. And they did a great job of sectioning us off into a nice VIP area that had a pool, Greg, too.
Jump in?
So Vegas pool. I almost
Skinny dip.
I almost got Roger in the pool one time. I was going to throw him in, but I knew better. I was like, don't throw him in, Mike. Don't throw him in. I did make Tim get all wet by pouring a beer on him, so that was my bad.
Shit happens, you know?
Technically, it was Roger's fault. Okay, so it's not on me. It was Roger's fault.
So there was like 4 different big pod areas for Topgolf. And I think this is like a standard Topgolf thing. This is how this kind of works. But the Sonic version of this, each pod had like a theme of a character. So Amy, Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic.
So we were like in the VIP section though.
The Sonic one.
Like this
We were
whole,
in the VIP section.
No, no, this
Topgolf.
whole,
Oh, gotcha.
This
Private
whole,
bar,
this whole
private
top
pool.
layer, yeah.
Yeah.
What you saw from the rest of it, if anybody's been to Topgolf, it's these bays where it's just like here's where you will shoot your shots
And it's
from.
a driving range, yeah?
Yeah, it's like a multi-level driving range with like targets out there in the course or whatever. And but the very, very top floor is the one that has rooms that are separated. The rest of it, you are not separated by walls or anything like that. You're just kind of sitting. It's like a bowling alley. You're sitting down. All your friends sit in like all these seats. Another group will sit over there with their other seats. But you are always kind of in your sort of circle. But up there, it's all separated, and they made each one of these bays like that's the Knuckles rooms. Everything's red. There's Amy, there's Sonic, and there's Tails.
And each one had like an insane amount of plushies of each
Plushies,
character on it.
snacks.
And Roger's going crazy. Roger's snatching these things up, walking around, looking
freaking.
like just like the happiest kid on Christmas. Like it's just so funny. But like these goddamn plushies, when we first get there, it was kind of the vibes of like, all right, cool. half of us are here for the Sonic, half of us are here for the Top Golf in terms of like the kind of funny group. But like we're setting in, and I feel like we kind of took over, I'd say, the main area. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there was a moment of like we didn't start off playing golf. We kind of like settled in, got some drinks, met some people, and then it was like, okay, we should probably try to squeeze in here because like the first 3 bays are just single use. The second bay was double use, which was like the nice Sonic Super VIP, and we were like, we got to settle in so we can play because Mike and Andy want to play. And so we settled into the Sonic Bay, and we sat there for a while.
We had fun. It was awesome playing the game and all that, but it was funny because we had this little bay, and Roger's getting his plushies. He wants to bring it back to Leanne, so he's really excited about this. But then the plushie game got fucking serious.
Elevated.
The Top Golf people like that we were working with, they had no idea what they were in for, getting Sonic the Hedgehog involved, all right? There were people that are like trying to steal Roger's plushies. There are people like, where'd you get that, Amy? We need to get, it turns into this like black market type situation. And Roger legitimately is looking for hiding places to hide these fucking plushies,
Learned
man.
it from me.
So yeah,
Opening random drawers. I respect the hell out of it.
each one of these bays had a little wall where it looked like this would be set up at a shop somewhere because it's all the same tiny plushies of this wall is all Knuckles, this wall is all Amy, whatever, and those are the little small ones, right?
And those are clear as day. You take
and those
those.
are like those are for everybody to grab. But then strategically placed around were much larger ones that looked like just props to decorate, not necessarily to steal or take,
And
right?
pillows.
And pillows,
There's
right?
themed pillows, of course. We know a good themed pillow
We
is
know a
right.
good
themed
And
pillow.
we know what that does to people.
Mike and the Xbox
Gets
pillows.
people excited about that. And so, yeah, there was a moment where we look over and a girl with her boyfriend are smiling as all can be. The girl is grabbing plushies, making her boyfriend carry them, and you immediately saw Roger get activated of like, oh shit, now is my time, right? And so we had a great time laughing at poor Roger trying to
Did he get
collect
them all?
as many
Did he get the whole set?
I think he has all the little ones,
got the
but
baby
he didn't
ones.
get any of the big ones that he was like really trying to get.
But there was a second of him looking like, do you think they'd be okay if I sold this? And I was like, honestly, they probably want less shit to take back.
Yes.
Totally. Yeah.
They don't want to.
And then we talked to them and they said as much. So
Yeah.
it just everything got real up for grabs. DCH Hard Rocker says, I seen a man get out of a wheelchair at the Sonic 25th party at Comic-Con because of Sonic. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sonic just
what he
does
does to
things to
people.
people.
Sonic does,
yeah. That totally adds up. But yeah, really fun event. Playing Top Golf. I'm very not good at this. I had fun though. You know what I mean?
good.
Andy, excellent teacher. So good at teaching you how to do this stuff.
I tried my best.
And I'm not good at swinging. I'm not good at this. I'm not good at following the instructions, but they were great instructions. Oh, we don't need to see me. We don't need to see me. Why does it have to be me?
I said
You
that
know?
to Greg, and he said,
Yeah.
"You're
I
so
was,
mean."
I was gonna quote it.
You're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
mean.
I forget. We're bullshit. I was nothing at all. Just Saturday, 1:50 a.m. He sends me that video, and I responded 7:30 in the morning. You're so mean.
Yeah,
Let him learn.
I got to be honest. I was scared to death of letting go of the
club.
The club.
Yeah.
Like I was like your swing because like there's just a cliff right there, man.
Yeah.
Even being there, I was not extremely comfortable. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean?
Anytime somebody would like put their swing back, and Tim is like 15 feet away, maybe, and he's like, "Whoa!" Anytime somebody's club would come back,
It was an unsafe situation for me personally. But yeah, so much freaking fun. And yeah, you hit into these like little targets, and then there's a
I
screen
was gonna
next
say,
to you.
show me my Andy. Wow.
Yeah,
there
dude,
it
Andy
is.
got the stuff, man. It was
Mike beat me the first game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we got to talk about, of course. Greg, please take note on his swing there. He's swinging off of the tee, mind you, right-handed. They really favored the right-handed people out there because lefties over here. I didn't get a tee.
They said no mutants allowed.
I had to swing off the top, okay, off the grass. And I beat Andy. Okay, he left
it
the
is, here
door
it is, here
open
it
in
is.
the
He
late
left the
round.
door open, yeah.
And I caught up right to him.
Oh yeah, this is
No, this one's not going to go well.
This is slow mo one. Sorry, but the reason I did it was because he hit it badly and then looked back. I was recording him to just have a good like, here's the form or whatever. But his reaction was very worth it once it like went directly left. We had a great time though. Second game, I dominated Mike.
Let's shout out to Scott and the team.
yeah.
I mean, what an awesome little activation they created there with how they brought Sonic with Top Golf, because Top Golf is just a driving range, Greg, as you know. And there's some fun interactivity that you can do of like who can get close to some of these pins, and they got a great
There
tracking
it is.
system
That's
there.
what I saw online. That's what everybody saw online.
You know, they implemented Sonic so well into this of like, all those circles have rings tied to them. So even if you're smashing it super distant, far, or close, you can get amount of rings every single shot. And so you get 4 shots. Whoever has the most rings at the end wins. And it's a fun little way to like keep it active, have a little competition instead of just watching Andy blast these balls to the moon, right? It was really good.
Yeah, the second game was really fun because there's also a bunch of rings just kind of on the ground level in that virtual world or whatever. So I was like, oh, if I can aim towards there and then it rolled towards a target and then Sonic does his thing and starts going all over the place. It was really cool kind of finding that strategy there. Yeah. I was beating Mike's ass the second game, and then Mike said, well, I'm 3 margaritas deep, and you all haven't fed me.
So mind you, Greg, okay, this is now 9:30 at night. I haven't been fed dinner. Okay, I have not eaten all day.
Dinner.
Okay, there's been no food at all.
adult.
They have
I mean,
not
frankly,
taken me
it falls on Tim. He's
of
your
course.
leader. He's
Yeah.
your leader.
And
He's
when they
leading
tell me,
his team.
go eat some pizza, Mike, figure it out.
Hold on. Wait. Yeah, sorry.
had a lot
Let's
of
not let this get any further. We had full free meals at this place. There is so much food here. Food straight from the Sonic the Hedgehog cookbook. They were so authentic about
He's
that.
an
Thank you,
athlete. He
thank
can't be out
you.
there carbo loading in
Gotta
that
feel me.
match.
But
They
also,
had
I was
so much.
But also, I was just like still full from like I had 3 tenders, all those fries, and like Mike had that in addition to the Twizzlers and the pretzel.
Yeah.
So I was just like, "What do you mean you haven't been?"
Yeah.
Like I'm still feeling.
How have
full.
you not had food? You had food.
Hey, take
I
me out
didn't
to
have a
dinner.
bite
I was
to eat.
dying. I was
had not-
dying. I
had
had
not
a
had
lot
a
of
bite
Red
to
Bull,
eat.
too. We got
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of Red Bull.
the Red Bull
gang.
vodka is definitely
Need you to
popped
know.
in after the margs.
The Red Bull at the end of the night, there I was alone, 4:30 at night in my bed. And I just felt my heart race. I was like, man, that doesn't feel normal. Slept for some more at 6:30. My heart's still racing. I was like, ooh, that's got to be the Red
It's
Bulls.
tough. It's
Yeah,
scary.
that'll do it. That'll
That's
do
not
it.
good.
Had Alka-Seltzer for the first time
Oh,
as well.
wow.
Man.
What a treat.
Hold on. It was
What
the,
a treat.
the same reaction that Mike had when he put on, I think, it was Nerf Alice's glasses.
Yes.
The first time when Mike put on Nerf Alice's glasses and was like, "Oh, whoa!" Like this work I can see, and he had that amazing moment. He was like, well, "That Alka-Seltzer, that was amazing. that was really cool."
Yes, really good.
So did the night end at Top Golf and then y'all
So
went?
pretty much after that, like
It's Elf. He's Elf. Yeah.
There was a like the group was going to another event, and we were all supposed to be together, but we made the fatal flaw of like, oh, see, this is where leader Tim here. I fucked up. I listened to y'all motherfuckers. Oh, we need to go back to the hotel and drop stuff
Okay,
off. I'm
well,
like,
don't look at
I
me.
got
don't
30
look at
plushies.
me. Yeah, look at Plushie Boy.
yeah, I mean, it is
Look at
Plushie Boy's
Plushie
fault.
Boy.
It is
Yeah, don't
Plushie
look at
Boy's
me.
fault.
And what time is this roughly? Like
It's 11 p.m.
11:30. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's all right, let's do this. And like, obviously, I'm fucking around and joking, but like, had we went with them, I think we would have been okay. But not going with them essentially meant we didn't get into the.
We didn't go
next
into the
spot.
karaoke. Yeah.
And
It was at a different casino hotel
Sure,
or
sure,
whatever,
sure.
and it was
Cosmopolitan.
it was a little a speakeasy.
Ooh.
It's called the Barbershop. It just looked like a normalized barbershop. You
Ooh,
walk in.
that's
yeah, it's pretty
cool.
sick looking, but we didn't get in.
Yeah.
And that was totally
They look
fine.
at
but then-
Roger with an armful of plushies. They're like, now we're full.
But also at the end of the conversation, we're sitting there and there's a golf bag, and it is it's a blue furry golf bag. So imagine any golf bag you've ever seen, but
Yeah.
it's just covered in blue fur,
Yeah.
and you see like Sonic's eyes, and it says Sonic the Hedgehog on it. And Mike was like, "Man, I really want that golf bag." And you think they'll let me take it? And I was like, I mean, let's ask, dude. Let's see, you know? And I was like, first off, you're never going to take it on the plane, but sure, I'll entertain this for now. And I just, as Tim is talking to a couple of the PR people from Top Golf, I was like, man, it would be cool to have one of these. I wonder whose this is. It'd be awesome to have one of these. And like, nobody noticed. So we just walked out.
Oh,
They
you
were
should have
awesome.
asked straight up. You should have
Yeah,
asked straight up.
Shout out to all the Top Golf people. They were fantastic.
incredible.
They were great
But,
to us. A lot of
yeah,
fun.
and like Scott specifically. He's the home.
Shout out to Scott. He
I
was
hope we
so
can get
good.
him
He
here one
played
day.
with us too. He was real good. He's got game. He's got a lot of game. Then we finished the night at Wolfgang and Puck. Open 20 hours, not 24 hours, just
Yeah.
so you know.
Wolfgang Puck's restaurant, right? Is it called Wolfgang and Puck?
No.
Yeah, it's not two people.
Wolf, comma, gang, comma, and Puck. I'm like, oh.
And as we're we're walking over there, and Mike immediately doesn't seem like he's in, right? Because Tim is like, well, we got Wolfgang Puck, we have a couple, and Hooters is across the street. We had another moment in the night where we could have gone upstairs somewhere, but the escalator was out,
It was
and
a big
and it was a big escalator, and
Big.
none of us wanted to take that trek. because it was just really far and our legs were tired.
Yeah.
So
tired
I
of
was
them
like,
legs.
well, I'd rather go to Wolfgang Puck than Hooters, and plus Hooters we have to like walk across the street. And Mike
Yeah.
was like, I mean, it's just right there though. I was like, yeah, but like, I'd rather have like Wolfgang Puck. It sounds like a better option. So we went to Wolfgang Puck, and Mike was immediately. Just not
at that
happy
moment,
about
I
it.
was 14 hours deep of wearing Timberlands, and my feet were starting to get blizzard.
Yeah.
So I was like, I just don't want.
You haven't eaten all day.
I don't want to exist anymore, and I haven't been fed. We haven't
Yeah.
sat down to eat yet.
Yeah.
So
And
here
then
we
near
are.
the end of the night, Mike very, very backhanded, going, we never got steak, but that's fine. I'm good. Never got steak.
Steak was never asked for, by the way.
Oh no! It was
Oh, I
from the
know it was
beginning.
talked
Oh,
about.
Gary Winnick, Gary
Gary
Winnick this, Gary
Winnick.
Winnick that.
Yeah, oh man, it's so funny. Oh my god.
Never got steak.
So sat down at Wolfgang. You know what I mean? It was pretty good.
Shout out
good
to
time.
all the best friends we saw in Vegas.
Oh
like
my
so many
God.
great people.
Like Steven Damien, who super chatted and said, I met you guys at Top Golf. Thanks for being so cool. And thanks, Mike, for showing me around, even though I wasn't supposed to be there, lol.
Thanks to my dude right there.
Yeah.
Nice to see some kind of funny best friends there. We also had one who stuck out in their car waiting for us until we got out. So
Nice.
very great for you to come in and say hi and wait
They're
for
like,
us as well.
Yeah. Andrew? No, 'cause Andrew was at Wolfgang Puck. I'm blanking
Yeah.
on but he was like, I thought it was an open event. I was like, yeah, me too. That's why and during one of our streams, I was like, you could just go to Top Golf. You could just walk in or whatever. You could not. It was like a private event up top. So he was like, I just waited and got some donuts for y'all. I wanted to say hi. I was like, hell yeah. It was
Good
super
donuts.
cool.
Smack some donuts.
Super
That was
sweet.
Yeah.
great.
So that was great. But yeah, we end up at Wolfgang Puck. Actually, real quick, one story that I need to tell.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of talking to one of the PR people when we first walk in. And within 5 minutes of us getting to this event, the director of Sonic starts walking. And I'm like, holy shit. I just immediately
Yeah,
just stick
I
my hand.
watched him do
I
that,
shake his
yep.
hand. I'm like, oh my God. And super nice dude. But later, I saw him just sitting at the bar alone.
Oh my
And I'm
God.
like,
Don't
oh my
do it,
God.
Tim.
So we went and I walked over. I totally fucked this up. We spent way too long getting this plan together. By the time I wanted to, it wasn't happening. Walk over to these guys. I'm like, we got to go take shots with him. We got to make this happen right now. It just didn't happen. But he's fucking awesome. And
We sit down at Wolfgang Puck. Mike's not happy about being there, first off.
Did they not
It
have
was my
steak?
It was
at
my
Wolfgang
Timberlands.
and
It was
Puck?
my
It wasn't a Tim, but yeah,
Timberlands.
it was just kind of unhappy in a lot of different ways, right? But we look at the menu and Mike's like, Wolfgang, you cannot be doing a fucking $86 steak. That's insane. And I don't disagree.
That's Vegas, though.
Yeah, but like
The rest of the menu, Greg, was priced correctly.
yeah, like
For
everything
Vegas,
else was like
there was a
$20.
bottom level where all of a sudden they got out of hand quickly.
Like I don't think there was anything on the menu that was over
50 or 60. It was all like 40,
Yeah.
30, 20, and then
felt great.
that was like 80, $86. He was like, you can't be doing that. I was like, you know what? I don't disagree, Mike. I don't disagree with this. So what did I order? I was like, Mike. I was like, I don't know why. I kind of want these spaghetti and meatballs. He was like, me
Meatball
too.
boys.
Got some
Yep.
spaghetti and meatballs.
You got some delicious shrimp.
Oh my God, some shrimp scampi, Greg, with gigantic fucking
Greg,
thing.
this shrimp
Yeah.
was, I mean, this big. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, it was a.
prawn.
It
Even
was,
Roger
yeah.
got
Oh
after
yeah, it was
it.
like
It was
a
crazy.
sea monster, and you could dip the bread into the garlic butter
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
it was
That's that.
fucking
That's eating right there.
delicious.
That's good.
Destroyed that meal, and the whole time Roger's really freaking out about his Sonic the Hedgehog band because the Sonic the Hedgehog band is one of those that when you pull, it gets tighter.
Yeah.
and I've had that freak out moment. I had at the Dragon Age Veilguard event.
Yeah.
I had the same thing, and Tim was kind of like, "Yeah, I'm on the same
it's that
boat." Like,
claustrophobic
this
feeling. Of
kinda
like it hits a
sucks.
point where you're like, oh,
kind of worried
fuck.
about this, right? So eventually,
My head's swelling up.
well, before that, Roger's trying to cut it off, and Roger's
Oh
like,
my God.
do you have any?" And Roger goes, do you have any keys on you?" I was like, "Nah, I don't got my keys." And then he looks at Mike. He goes, "Mike, do you have your keys on you?" And Mike goes, "Yeah, hold on." So like, well, maybe we can cut it off, right? Mike busts out his wallet and he takes out his hotel keys, and he's like, "No, to cut this off."
What do you mean? You know what I mean?
But Roger specifically said, "Do you have a key so I could try to cut this off?" And Mike was like, "Yeah, hold on, I got you." Busts out his wallet, hotel keys, and
It's
Roger
been a
goes,
long day.
"No,
He's
I'm
been
talking."
Tim.
He
He's
said
not
he's
been
dead.
fed.
No one fed him.
And Roger goes, no, yeah, to cut this off, like an actual key. He goes, "Why the fuck would I have my fucking key on me? Why, like, what, you think I'm carrying my keys on me?"
flashing out,
in the
he's
middle
not
of
It's like,
been
it's
fed.
your fault for misunderstanding.
I'm just thinking, why would I have my car keys on me?
What?
Greg? You know what I mean? You asked me keys.
It's a dumb question, Roger. It's a dumb question.
Why are you getting
You're at the restaurant. Ask for a steak knife. Ask for their scissors.
Well, then we get to the restaurant. He's got a butter knife. He's jamming it this close to his face. And we go, Roger, maybe not like that. Then he
cut
flips
away
it
from
around
you.
And he's doing this at his face again. We're like, maybe not like that, Roger. Now he's trying to cut his wrist here like this. Like, okay, maybe not like that, Roger.
I was
Take
able
it
to
away.
cut mine off with just
Take
a
it
little
away.
bit of ingenuity.
Oh,
but
my
then
God.
eventually we asked the waiter, can we get some scissors so we can cut this off? He's like, yeah, sure. And then waiter comes back with scissors along with the manager. And the manager goes, hey, guys, very, very weird. I did not expect to see you four sitting here at 2 a.m. I was like, there's no way that's them, right? He was like, I've been listening for a long time. I'm a big fan. It was like, it was fucking awesome. It was like, holy shit. And I bet I would have been just as confused. If I was like, what? There's no way they're here in Vegas right now at 2 something in the morning.
Needing scissors to cut something
Yeah.
off.
Yeah, like small
Panicking
children.
arm.
Brought us a bunch of dessert.
I
It
was
was
gonna
amazing.
say, is this when you turn to like, what's up with this $86 steak?
Didn't bring that
No,
up.
dude.
Shit
So
out.
this was
Give me
Andrew,
give me
right?
a 50%.
Yeah, this was Andrew.
Shout out to Andrew, man. He was so nice and so awesome. Like, he ends up coming out with like every dessert on their menu. And so now we're all sitting here and we're just like, well, now we got to eat this
Fuck,
dessert.
I'm
It was
not,
so
I'm not
Yeah,
hungry.
we fucked this dessert up, man.
It was
cookies,
creme
creme brulee.
Yeah, the creme brulee. They also had the
chocolate mousse.
the apple sort of cinnamon thing with the ice cream, whatever they call that. little
pie
thing.
almost.
Alamode.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, delicious. It was just
was
a great
great.
freaking time. And at the end, we were walking out. Michael's like, you know what? I got to give it up to Wolfgang Puck.
Give it up.
Wolfgang and Puck.
You know
yeah,
what?
both of them.
It
Yeah.
was pretty good. It was
Both of
pretty
them
good.
get
So
shout
then
outs.
this was the moment of the night where it's like, at this point, I don't know, 2 a.m., I would say?
Yeah,
Something like that.
dinner was 1:30. This is like 2:15 window.
Somewhere
yeah.
in there. And so then there's the call. Like, what we're in Vegas. Like, we could do what our flight is at like 4 p.m. the next day. So it's like, we could go crazy, but like, what are we trying to do? And I think we all had the very grown up, this group of guys think of just like,
It's over.
it's over. Like, it's bad
I mean,
time.
you pound spaghetti and meatballs and
Spaghetti
apple
meatballs.
pie a la mode.
Yeah.
You're probably not clubbing after
I was
that.
destroying the bread, man. The bread. I was like, can you bring out extra bread? That shit was good, man. You know what I was really sad about? I was so into the spaghetti that I wasn't paying attention when he asked, can I take this away? And so I'm eating the spaghetti and I look up and that extra bread is gone. I was like, where did the bread go? I was so sad. I was so bummed out. But it was good. It was so good.
So we go back up, and all of our rooms were right next to each other. And we were like about to go back into our rooms. I walk in, Andy walks in, and the last minute, Mike and Roger, we're going back out.
Yeah, we gotta go gamble.
Yeah, you got it.
Roger was hype. I want you to know, Roger was hyping up gambling beforehand. And before the trip, he was like, "I want to go hit
Never
the
been to
tables with you,
Vegas.
Mike.
I wanna
Let's
go to
do
the
this." And I
tables.
said, "Roger, I would love that. Right? I want to learn a couple of games out there. I know a couple of games. Let's see where we're at." The whole time, he immediately shuts down the idea of gambling. He's like turned off. He doesn't want to do it anymore. So I pull out $200 when we hit the Cosmopolitan. Right after this lady stole my number, but I didn't give her the right number, so it was all good.
yeah,
Stole your
woman
number.
walks up to Mike and suddenly it's like, where did Mike go? And say, this girl just walked up to
I
him and asked
smiled.
him
She
for a number.
saw. She says, "Nice mustache." I said, "Pretty eyelashes."
And they're chatting.
The
We're like,
whole
man,
thing.
of course, like that's awesome.
That's
Good
Mike.
for Mike, you
Yeah.
know. And then we eventually catch up with Mike. He's like, no, it was a lady of the night.
She was really pressuring me into give me your cell phone number. I gave her a fake number
'Cause she said,
"No,
"Where-"
pull your phone out, show me that you got it. Show me you got it." And I was like, no.
what was the line of questioning? Was it like, where are you staying?
Where you staying tonight? And I said, I'm at the MGM. She says, "I'm staying anywhere." And I said, "Okay." That's great. That's
And so he was like, okay, that's what this is. All right.
And so yeah, I pulled out 200 at the Cosmo. We walked by a blackjack table. I was like, you know what? Let's test my luck. Put down 100 really quick. 4 hands, $25 each. First hand comes up. It's 11. What do you do on 11?
Theoretically, you got to stick.
Or you double down, right? You double
Oh,
down
sure,
looking
yeah,
for that
yeah,
10.
yeah.
Roger was not pleased with my idea of doubling down. I was like, "Roger, I don't know what you're talking about. You got to double down on 11. What if I get a 10 here? Boom, big money. I get a 4. Okay, so that hurts. I'm at 15. What does she pull out? A 20. Okay, I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
instant
yeah,
loss
yeah.
there. Then we go to the next one. I'm up. I'm at like 16. I'm feeling good. She's got 12. Then 11, then 13. Now she's got 14. She's pulling out every small card in the deck. 21. It's like, okay, that's great. Final hand, just lose it all. I'm like, okay, that's good. That's blackjack for you.
That's
know what I mean?
blackjack
You'll
for
never
you.
win.
Yeah, Mike had about like 7 cards equaling up to 19. I was like, Mike, that's pretty fucking good, dude. Like, great job. You were getting, like, you
21,
needed.
all right,
yeah,
bye,
he
see ya.
decided to ask for more, and he was at like 15. I was like, ooh, that's kind of risky. And he called and he got a 4. I was like, oh shit, 19, not bad, Mike. And the lady has 1 card that's a king. She flips over the other one, jack. And I was like, that's bullshit,
Yeah,
bro. Like,
got me.
that's crazy.
So then it's now the end of the night. I'm like, Roger, do you want to gamble? Let's do this. I got $100. We'll split it 50-50. You can just take my 50. Let's see what happens. He's very, I don't know. It's like, Roger, let's live a little bit. You know what I mean?
He's got that little bag.
Yeah. Oh my God.
The back was an immediate
a problem.
point of contention where
Point of contention.
Where-
Leave Roger alone.
no, it's not us, it's Mike, because Mike very much pulled a Nick sort of thing where Mike goes, Roger, hold this for me. And Roger's like, no, I'm not going to hold that. And he goes, put this in your little bag. Put this
in your fanny bag. And he got offended by the fanny
Put
bag.
this in your little fanny bag. And it was such a Nick thing of like, put this shit in your fucking backpack, like your stupid ass backpack. And it was like, no, like if you want to have a stupid fanny bag, you carry one as well. So you could carry your shit. I'm not going to be your pack mule.
Yeah,
you know?
I said, take these. You know, he
fucking
didn't want
hold
to.
this for me.
So then we step up to the roulette table. I got $100. We split 50-50. So, okay, what do you like? And he's like, I don't know, Mike. And I'm like, Roger, just black or red? Just pick a color here. He goes black. I go, okay, I'll go even. You know, since I only got 50. Boom, she spins it. Black 26.
Nice.
Made our money back, 200. Go to bed that night, right?
There you go.
Well, I lost it. Because the next morning I looked at Andy. I go, before we leave, let's bet this thing. Let's see what happens. And I go, Andy, black or red? Andy says black. It came up red. So we lost.
Yeah, lost it immediately. Walked away. Too much pressure for me.
I think I've told it before, but yeah, I going to Vegas for IGN stuff way back in the day. You know, I was always just so fucking broke, and so I could never actually gamble. And I'd always I'm not a gambler, but like the people who were like could go that had been at IGN long enough, I was like, oh, that's cool or whatever. And there was one time I was on a trip, and it was a wrestling thing, or maybe it was UFC, but Jose Sanchez from Electric Playground. I went down with him, and we were going to the party. He's like, wait, he went over to roulette. Put 100 down, bet on black or red or whatever. Won. Nice. It was like anytime I'm in Vegas, I put $100 down on a roulette and I walk away and I was like, that is so cool. If I ever have disposable and like years later, dice, it was me and Jen. And I was like, you know what? I'm financially sound enough that I feel like I should do that. I walked over, I'm like, 100 on black, and they spun it, and it came up 00 green. The money went away, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. This was awful. It's terrible. It's $100.
We all had the conversation, the fun one, the next morning of let's try to get later checkout.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
Just something I've never done in my life.
That's crazy.
And so it's 4 o'clock when I go to bed. I wake up at 6:30. I go, you know what? I've never done this. I'll call. And so I make a phone call. And they answer, and I go, hey, can I get later checkout? And they're like, for $30, you can get it till 1. $50, I'll give it till 3. And I was like, oh, 3 o'clock. Like, whatever. We're not flying until 2 o'clock, so might as well. Let's do it. You know what I mean? Like, it is fine with me. And so I get that, and then I get the text message at 10 o'clock. Okay, we're going to meet in the lobby at 11.
No, Mike,
and I go, oh, shit, they didn't get late checkout. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, that's unfortunate.
Here's Tim, the slave driver.
And Andy writes, I got it till noon. So I stumble out of my room looking at him at 10 o'clock like, I'm fucked up. I'm like, I'm not dressed or ready.
Fucked up.
No.
And I was like, just put all your bags in here. We'll figure it out. And so I had the room for late, which was nice. We didn't have to carry around the bags. That was a good thing.
That was a good thing.
You know what I mean?
That was a good thing.
Yeah.
But what happened was, it's 2 a.m.
Here's the truth.
We're all going to bed, right? Or at least we think we are, because the plan is, hey, we're all going to bed. Last minute, Roger and Mike, hey, fuck the plan. We're going to go back out. Totally acceptable, totally fine. There was no conversation of, oh, we're all going to get late checkout. Like,
I thought there was.
no, but there just wasn't, though. You know? So it's like, okay.
There was half of a conversation of, I wonder if they would let us do that. And that's all it was.
That's all that it was.
Well, I got it.
Admittedly, Greg, this is on me. I had the whole thought of like, if I don't make the plan here, there's no plan.
Yeah.
So it's like, I should have been like, let's all try to get late checkout. Let's try to get something going here.
Cameron Kennedy in the live chat says, Tim not letting him sleep, not feeding him, pretty toxic work environment.
So
DC Hard Rocker, Tim canceled late checkout.
I'm in bed, and my first thought when I hit the bed is like, fuck, like I should have told the boys, let's all call right now, see, and update each other. But I didn't do that. So I'm laying there, and I set my alarm for checkout for us, which was 11, by the way.
Yep.
11 for us, not 10. Big difference there.
Well, no. 11 was the meet in the hallway. 10 was, in my mind, you got to wake up an hour early, get everything going, repack the bags. So that's why I woke up at 10 to see the text message.
Had to repack the bag when you've been there 7 hours.
Had to repack the bag. Man. Had to repack the bag.
Yeah. So
After
anyways,
a long sojourn where you're just throwing away the toiletries you bought after they're single use.
Yeah. So I wake up and I check my phone, and I think maybe the thing that woke me up, actually, just real quick, I don't understand hotels, man. the amount of bullshit that goes on. I didn't put the do not disturb thing on the door, so I get this is on me. How is housekeeping coming at like
No way.
7:45?
Oh.
Like, what are we
Whoa.
talking about?
It's Vegas,
there?
man. Flip those
That's
shits.
crazy.
Flip those
And also, the alarm on the side of the bed just kept going off, starting at 7 a.m.
Yeah, you gotta,
Like,
yeah.
this is
He had
some
a bad room.
psychopathic shit. Like,
Gotta
we gotta
double-check those.
figure that shit out. Anyway, so I was already just like, ugh. But the thing that like woke me up was a text from Andy, and the text was at, I don't know, 10.
I scheduled it for 10. It was a
Yeah,
scheduled
10,
text.
10 in the morning,
Yeah.
and this text wakes me up, and it says, like, it was like the most professional thing I've ever seen from Andy Cortez. It was like, to whom it may concern.
Yeah.
This is Andy. This is all it said was it was a scheduled
When
text.
you got anxiety and ADHD, you always have to like explain the explanation that has an explanation. So I was like, hey, I'm pre-writing this at late at night. This is a scheduled text from last night, and I called for a late checkout. And they didn't give me the full late checkout, but they said, as a courtesy, we'll let you leave at noon instead of 11. And that was the original plan. I'll probably be ready by 11. Our flight's at 3:50 or whatever, boarding 3:30. We got time, right?
Yeah. So I see this text from Andy, and I'm just like, okay, cool. He has 12. He has 1 extra hour. I'm going to try to call and see if I can get that. Hopefully the other boys can get it. We can figure this all out. I call. They tell me no. They're like, we're not doing any late checkout. I'm just like, totally cool.
We heard how you
so
treat
then
your boys.
I sent the thread. I'm just like, hey, Andy got late checkout for noon. I do not. Roger didn't either. And it's like, we are going to meet at 11 and leave. Like, if you guys want to come, cool. But if not, we'll meet you guys at 12. I'm not trying to like take away his
No, he's
sleep.
not trying to take away his
You know what I
No,
mean? We're
not
trying to be
trying
good.
to.
I got
We're
extra
trying to be good here. And anyways, it's 11 a.m. and me and Roger meet each other like right in the hallway where we said we were going to meet at the time we said we are going to meet. And then Andy's door opens. I did not expect Andy's door to open.
I was already awake. I had the worst cramp in my calf, like at 6 a.m, Greg.
Yeah.
It was, it was in the dream that it was happening, and then it woke me up in real life. And I'm usually really good about straightening out the calf and stopping it.
Yeah.
I was not. I did not have the reaction time. It was a scary moment, so painful.
I bet it was. Sounds like somebody didn't drink enough
I was just
fluids to go
You
into
read
the
my mind.
desert. You know
Should've
what I
drank
mean?
more smart water.
It's
You know what I mean?
shocking.
Should have got after that smart
Looking
water.
like a California racer getting off the plane, wondering why he can't hang.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's now 11. And now me and Roger are ready because that was our plan. Andy, earlier than expected, pops
Ready.
out, but it's all right, cool, he can join us. But still, that leaves Mike where it's like you have, as far as we know, till noon. Well, actually, he hasn't said anything, so we just don't know.
Yeah.
But cool, either 11 be here or noon. Cool. Fucking Mike, I have never seen this face on you. Can we get this one real quick?
Stumble out.
You don't stumble out, dude. He busts out, his door just flips open, and he's like this.
Give me the one. This is how I saw it. Door busts open, and he goes,
Yes, that's how I felt. That's how I felt.
I mean, it's, yes. But there was an intensity, and it had the vibe of like, what the fuck are you guys doing right now?
Behind my back.
Behind my back.
we had an agreement.
That was my tummy was battling the heartburn, and then Roger gave me some Alka-Seltzer, changed my mood right away.
And it just has this like, and yeah, his hair's everywhere. Like, it is just like frazzled and angry. And it's like, what's going on? He's like, what are you guys doing? The text didn't say it. Like, just such a vibe to it. He's like, I have late checkout till 3. And we're like, how the fuck did you do that? Like, that's insane. And then, yeah, it was good because then we ended up putting all our bags in your room and all that
then we
stuff.
came back, my door was locked, of course, so I couldn't get in.
We couldn't even get up the
I had
elevator.
to walk up the stairs. Couldn't get in the elevator. Have to stand outside the room awkwardly. One lady's looking at us through the door because we're just talking in front of her door. And yeah, that was a whole thing. That was
It was
fun.
a whole
That was
thing.
a great time.
Yeah.
There was a guy with a mustache at the Sonic Top Golf event. And Mike talking to Roger like 5 feet away from him, like, mustache. And Roger's like,
That's all he said.
Roger's like,
He
you're
just
so
says
fucking
mustache.
loud. Why
Great
are you
mustache.
so loud?
There was, like, without naming anybody or whatever, there was 2 people.
Yeah.
You want to tell the story, Mike?
Which one was that?
Elevator. A very similar to the mustache story.
Oh, just so stoned. We were all in the lobby. They're like, oh man, the elevator's backed up. And I looked at Roger, I was like, they got Taco Bell at like 4 a.m. I'm like, man, they're so stoned. And Roger goes, why are you so fucking loud?
so loud.
They're right there.
Did they acknowledge they were stoned?
I mean, they look stoned. Who knows? You know,
Yeah.
they're having a great Vegas night. And then I made a friend on the plane ride home.
So we get on, like, I'm just going to jump straight to the end of this, of us being at the airport. I'm walking out of the bathroom, and Andy's standing outside, like, watching our bags. and he's just talking to this grandma. And I'm just like, this is interesting. Like, what's the story here? Like, I don't know. Maybe she's just waiting for her husband or something.
I think you may have been in the restroom at this point, possibly. Or?
That's what I'm saying. I walked out of the
gotcha.
restroom and I see you guys talking. And then when I walk out, the first thing I hear is her look at me. She goes, "Oh, you're Tim." And I'm like, what? Okay. What's happening here?
Yeah.
And then it all starts to click and I start having a
You go, "Oh, you're
flashback. And
Ronnie
I'm like,
2K.
oh my God, I heard Mike talking to someone on the plane. It must have been this woman. He must have told her so many details for this entire flight that she knows.
I work with this guy dressed as an
When
all
you
black.
guys, when all of y'all are in the restroom, though, Mike is talking to them, and they're like, "Okay, well, great, awesome, great to meet you, Mike. Good luck, or great to see you, Mike. And so he's walking to me, and immediately this happens every time, without fail. About 100% of the time, I go, "Oh, you know them?" It just felt like there was somebody he knew from Colorado. No, I just met him on the plane. And so he
So
goes
this
to the
is Andy, my
restroom.
coworker. This is Tim.
The
that's
husband
Roger.
walks into the restroom. Old lady stands out there next to me. We're watching the bags, and I was like, you got to meet Mike." She was like, "Oh yeah, he's a great guy." I was like, yeah, he's
something.
special. He's a good guy.
I really wish the epilogue to this was you showed up with them to the wrestling thing where I was at. When you showed up an hour late with your
There was the
Twizzlers.
vibes as we were walking. We're just like, there's a 50-50 chance she ends up on this podcast. Like this old lady loved us, man. She is all about it,
She knows
man.
about Twitch, about Kind of Funny Games,
yeah, she
about
does.
the 4 founders.
We're picturing her like in the studio and Mike being like, "Come play Call of Duty. Come sit down. Take my spot."
But the guy that you met on the plane that you were really stoked about at the very beginning of the story, you
Ronnie
could
2K?
only really say like 5 words.
Poor Ronnie 2K. We could have had a great
get
friendship.
starstruck,
Yeah, I know. It's
Get excited.
Shot. You'll
It
get
was
another
his
shot.
birthday.
How do I tell
know?
you my whole life story if I have 5 seconds to
Damn,
walk by
Ronnie.
you?
And then I got home. We got home. It was like 6:30 when I finally pulled in my driveway, and I get a text message from Kevin A6. "You coming to this wrestling thing?" I was like, "Shit, I know Greg is there, and I know Kevin is there." And I look it up. I'm like, $52, 12-minute drive. I said, "Let's ride."
Send it.
Said, "Let's ride." And I arrived at it started at 7, so I arrived at 8.
Yeah.
I caught the final 2 hours. And Tim, let me tell you what, indie wrestling is on a whole nother level, bro. We were in the most insane venue I've ever been a part of.
Well, it was West Coast Pro Wrestling Ride, King of the Indies event. Usually they're at the Irish Cultural Center here in San Francisco or whatever, or the State Room in South San Francisco. And this time that had fallen through at the last second due to some shenanigans or whatever. So they did it in the public area of a strip mall where they also have the academy. Like when they said they were going to do it at the academy, I thought, oh, they're going to be in their training space. And no, they were in the public area. They set up, if you want to show the video I put in of Mike's point of view.
Like where people just congregate?
Yep, exactly.
shit.
So it was set up between a pizza place and a sandwich shop.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's the sandwich shop over there. If you look into the center there, you see me pointing and screaming at one of the wrestlers. This is Mike's voice. I didn't know he was doing this. This is me just not knowing I'm on camera, screaming at a wrestler. You see him screaming back at me there. They were just pointing at each other, jawing at each other because you're into wrestling. They are fighting in the crowd if you haven't paid attention.
Oh, they were in
the man in the
crowd.
SF jacket there, the starter jacket. That is Mike, not our Mike, a different Mike who I befriended, who was on Mike's level.
Yeah.
Buying me pizza, buying me beers. So I was buying him pizza, buying him beers. We were having a great time.
They
out there.
knocked this guy out, and he sits on a chair, and Mike, Greg's new friend, is taking a selfie with this to the point where the people who work for the company are like, "Move, they're trying to do the next move."
We had it.
Hanging with
Paul, our other my other friend, who's Mike's real friend, grabbed Mike and pulled him out of the way because the other wrestler turned and Titus Alexander was waiting to do a move, but he couldn't because the guy was selfieing like fucking Miles Morales or some shit or whatever.
So fucking
Yeah,
funny.
great
It was cool, man. We were in that tiny little strip mall, just screaming, having fun. It was you know what? I know that's probably not their first choice of venue, but like that
it
was
worked.
fun.
It
That
was
was
great.
very
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Saw a Hall of Famer, right? Kevin was like,
Ultimo
"You see
Dragon.
this guy?"
Ultimo
He was like,
Dragon.
"That guy's been around for a long
Yeah,
time."
Ultimo
I was
Dragon
like,
was
"Oh my
there. He was
God."
killing it. Yeah.
Greg looked at me. He said, "Stand up," and I was like, "Oh shit!" Stand up, stand and clap.
respect.
You gotta respect them. You gotta
Yeah, it
respect
was a
those
big deal. It
wrestlers.
was a
Yeah.
big deal. That was cool.
Yeah, it was fun, and it was the moment for me, like before you got there was the first match that Titus was in, or not Titus, the guy in the jean overalls.
Okay.
He was wrestling a guy dressed as a bull or whatever, a big old guy, and I was screaming at this big old boy to the point that the big old boy stopped the match to scream back at me, and then through multiple times he'd do the point, and I'd stand up and point and scream or
Love it.
whatever. And so then you had me drawn at that guy. Then if you want to show my video here, I'll warn you if you can pause it before you play it all the way through here, Barrett. Thank you. If we are we gonna hear sound for it?
Oh, if you want sound, yeah.
Yeah, I'll warn you. I use graphic language.
Yeah.
I don't. No, I'm dead serious. Tim's giving me the look. I mean, I do not like horrible, but I say bitch, and I don't like saying bitch. I'm trying to train myself not to say bitch. To me, bitch is not a gendered. I'm doing a thing, but I know it is to some people. So here I did it, and afterwards I was like, I'm not happy I did that, but I did it, and I'm owning it, and I don't like doing it. And you've seen me try to dial it back. But anyways, go ahead and play it, because this is Titus Alexander there in the invincible trunks, if you can tell. Right?
Look at his big muscles.
That's Mike. Not
Oh,
Mike.
the Invincible. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Come on, Titus!
That's me, if you didn't know.
The whole night.
Reverse it, Titus!
Damn, that's just straight concrete.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. And they were taking bumps.
There you go.
Oh!
Now wait for it, because here's where I say, here's my chance. I've already yelled at him, and so I climb up on the chairs and yell at him more.
So strong, you can. What's it like to be a fucking bitch, you bitch?
Huge laugh from the arena.
Get him, Titus!
Huge laugh from the arena.
Electric.
And so my
Electric.
payout, of course, I like professional wrestling, if you didn't know.
Oh, yeah.
And I like being part of the show, even if I'm not part of the show. You've seen me on SummerSlam, screaming at Jey Uso. You've seen me here screaming here. And of course, as you know, I'm loud. And I'm louder than most. I don't, it's, just the years of antler training, right?
Never heard anybody say that.
At the end of this is an amazing moment. At the end of this, we're like, it's a very tight thing to get out of. So I'm walking to get out, and I get stuck in the line or wherever, and people are signing in, buying stuff too. And this woman walks over to me. It's not going the way you think it's going to go. She goes to me. I turn to her. She turns to me. She goes, I got to say I like your style, because I've been screaming it so active and all this stuff. And I go, I got to say I like your style because, and I tell her the story. Obviously, she already knew. Her and her husband were there, and I was like, how old is your son? And she's like, he's 2.5. They brought their 2.5-year-old to this match, and they are, I guess, so ingratiated to this thing that in the opening bout, the bad guy grabs the 2.5-year-old and uses him as a weapon on the other guy, and then gives him back to the family. It was on the West Coast stories from the weekend, but it's gone now. I would have shown it to you. But it was awesome. And I was like, that is phenomenal. I'm like, I have a 3-year-old, but we haven't introduced wrestling yet. And she's like, oh yeah, he knows all about it. He's like, that's the dream. That's the dream. So they're back in January. Masato Tanaka's going to be there.
Sick.
ECW fucking
Let's
icon.
go,
I'm
man.
going.
I also forgot to say that on the Uber on the Uber back to the airport, we get off or not an Uber, we get off the taxi, and Roger goes, I recorded our taxi driver the whole time swiping TikTok while he was driving. Just actively swiping TikTok.
Roger was very, very upset about
Roger
it.
was not happy about this.
It was the thing of like I was in the passenger seat, and I was like on my phone the entire time, so I didn't notice at all. So in my mind, I was kind of like, oh, like Roger's just saying that because it's a thing that happened. Like, all right, we're okay, it's fine. And then Roger showed me the footage. I was like, how did we not die? Like, this man was like just actively just on his phone driving,
incredible.
like literally
hate it,
scrolling,
dude.
watching
I hate
TikTok
it.
videos.
But
It
we were
was-
also like him and that other first driver that we had going so fast through turns. Like the first taxi driver we also had, where I'm in the middle and Roger's to the right of me, and I'm like having to push myself up against the car to not like just be leaning into him, because they were going. Usually when you go around a turn, you put the brakes on a little bit, and
Not this guy.
they just didn't. They never let their foot off the
There you
gas.
go.
It was really
Yeah.
impressive.
They're probably really good Mario Kart players.
Yeah.
If you see somebody like, not to call Roger out too much, but if you're taking the time to record this man the entire time, do you not think at all to be like, yo, can you get off your phone, please?
I mean, it's like a vibe thing, though. You know what I mean?
It was
Like,
definitely a vibe. There was a vibe of like,
We've
don't
been
say
in these
nothing.
cabs before.
Even
Yeah.
the TikTok guy,
We were in the
TikTok
Uber
guy
the
was
one
giving
time.
energy.
oh yeah,
Okay.
an
Uber-
intense energy.
Uber the one time in Denver where it was a no right sign lit up because of train tracks, and it was going ding, 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 and this guy took a right, and I fucking screamed at him and berated him the entire way home. And then the opposite of it, the one time in the cab in Austin.
Yep.
We land, get in the cab, take off. Nick goes, excuse me, sir, could you turn the music down? And the guy just looks at Nick and turns the music up. And we're like, we're trapped in here. We're trapped in here. Ladies, gentlemen, and NBs, that's another episode of the Kinda Funny podcast. If you liked what you saw, please pick up a Kinda Funny membership. $10 gets you good karma for supporting an 11-person small business. Plus, it gets you all of our shows ad-free, the ability to watch the afternoon podcast like the Kinda Funny podcast live as we record them, and of course, your daily dose of me, Greg Miller, in a series we call Greg Way. For now, it's time to say goodbye. So until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.
Roger in the
Mike.
chat says the TikTok guy had the energy of I will drop you off on the side of the road if you give me shit, and that is so true. Like I would have not fucked with this guy at all.
Can't fuck with taxi drivers.